I just remembered I forgot to mute my own stream. Hey everyone, how's everyone doing? Welcome again to another Hangout with Astropreneur. I will post up the link right now. Just let me share out my link so everybody can join. If anyone wants to does want to come in and join the conversation, the link is there in chat. So welcome to our normal Hangout. I do already have a few people in the background ready to come in. Let me say hi to everyone first. So hey Matt, I know you're in the background, so I'll chat with you in a moment. Who else is there? Non-fam, how are you, sir? Hey Stephen, SPC3D, and Chris Mink. Hey, how are you guys? So we already have some people in the background. Let me bring everybody in. I'll bring in Jerry first. Oh, at the stream. Hey Jerry and Matt, how are you guys?
Everybody. What's going on, everybody?
Good. Matt, you're using the wrong audio, or not your headset. You're using your microphone. I can hear your
all right, let me mute you.
No, it's okay. Just fix your audio. I know you have you have multiple, like your cameras and so on have audio, and they are picking up background noise. But when you're on your headset, that doesn't happen.
I'm gonna mute my camera or kill my camera because I'm in the middle of eating dinner. I just cooked with my wife, but I'll be here.
Okay. So, what are you up to, Matt? So we have resorted to hand signals.
Better now?
Yeah, it's fine. So it sounds okay, I think. Yeah. So how are you?
I'm okay. I'm not been printing much. I've been organizing stuff to move my printers here, and
you're moving house. Hey Jeff, how are you?
Not really yet. So I'm still staying over at the other place.
Yeah, but you're in the process of transitioning.
Yeah, I had too much trouble with my neighbor. He was complaining about that I'm too loud at night. So I moved my...
Wait now, how could anybody say you're loud? You're the quietest guy we know on the stream. We always have to drag words out of you. Unless you're one of these guys that goes around and stomps on the floor as you're walking around the area.
No, I'm not an elephant.
So you haven't been printing that much. I've been doing a little printing. Some of you, I don't know if anyone, those of you who do follow me on my Facebook, but I designed little brackets to hang up my lasers. So now I have my lasers hanging there along the side there of one of my racks for my printers. And I also got my Toys for Tots sent. I also the guys from IC3D were actually in my area in Novi, not far from me, at an event called MCon. Today was the last day of it. Hey Jason.
Hey.
So with the guys from MCon, since you were at MCon, I decided I reached out to them and I said, if I drop my boxes over to the guys of the toys, will you take them back to Columbus? And they said, sure. So I before I brought them back, this is what I printed.
That's all?
That's all, yeah. It's not many. So each of these are individual little toys. So
amazing.
So that's what I printed. That's what they got.
The only thing what I printed was this.
Is that a worm or is that poop? Well, it's poop now.
No, I didn't glue it yet together, so
it looks like poop on top of a box, doesn't it?
It does now.
It's a worm.
Okay.
What does it say?
Hey Shane, how are you?
It says not safe for work.
Thanks. I missed your comments.
I leave Jerry alone because I know he's eating dinner. I will talk to him in a while. Hey Shane. So what are you up to, Jason?
Not much. Still printing some toys for Tots, and I know you can't really see it, but you can kind of see the end of that box right here, behind this spool. So that's full to the top of the flaps again. So
is that 2.5 kilo spool?
Yeah. Originally, I thought they had sent me 2 5s, but then when I pulled it out, I saw how big the center
was. They don't
was.
do 5s. They do 10. They do 2 10s, 2.5s, and 1s.
Yeah.
And what they actually do in the factory is they spool them onto 10s, and then they spool them down to the other sizes as required.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so that's how they do it.
Yeah.
But
the one behind me is almost done. It's doing 16 trucks. And then when that's done, it'll probably do another 4 or 6 trains maybe. And that'll be the end of that spool. And then I'll cut that one out. It takes about 3 days. Not quite 3 days, but 3 days in terms of like total time, go to sleep, wake up, do everything else, print, to go through that spool. So
I have to redo the top. I painted it with white paint last night, spray paint. I sanded it off with my sander a little bit ago, and I have to I restained the top where I burned off the stain.
Hey, Shane.
I've got to re-clear coat it, but it came out pretty good.
Yeah, it looks good.
That's cool. Mm-hmm.
That was a saying I remember my dad had a sign in his shed years ago when I was a little kid. Be sure your brain is running before you kick your mouth in gear. So I went with the same words with different logos, like a light switch, somebody yelling in gears. So I thought that'd be kind of cool.
Can I give a suggestion?
Sure.
Use a different. If you're going to do something like that again, use a font where the letters are not so close together, so you can actually see the division between them because the white merges.
Yeah.
But it looks good. Other than that, it looks really good.
And then I was going to burn some unions. I've got these burned with a torch and then stained. And I started out at the center. I started out at the corner, but the bit's traveling too far.
Hey, Big Mike.
I got to remeasure distance. For some reason, it's traveling too far. I don't know why.
Yeah, just draw. And you don't even have to get it to cut. What I would do is I would tape a pencil to it, so it touches the bed or something like that, and move it. Let's say 300 or 200 one direction. Measure the line. Do 200 the other axis and measure the line to see if if the steps are correct.
Yeah.
That's all I would do. I wouldn't even cut anything. I just drew that. That would be the easiest way of doing it. That's how I do it on the printers. I use a pen on my X and Y, and then I use a needle on the Z axis, and I mark it, and then I move up, and I mark it again, and I measure the distance.
Yeah, I went back at easel and I checked my material, and I had pine. I had the right size. I took the union, I made it a little bit smaller, and then I recentered it and had the same problem. It started running off the material. So before it came down and hit it the second time, I hit my stop switch.
Oh, are you sure you're set in millimeters and not inches? In all settings, all the way from easel all the way through, because it doesn't convert very well. You need to make sure you use the same measurement settings.
I think it is. I'll have to check that, though.
So, Shane, what's up?
Well, I decided I was going to tear into the CR30 tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm quite disappointed.
Why?
Soldered connections into rising clamp connections. Soldered wires. Yeah.
But now,
but we're not surprised.
Everybody in the 3D industry knows that that's the right way to do it.
Of course.
Sorry, I can't keep a serious face going.
No, it's waving a chat.
I know. So, you must. Okay. It's Creality.
Yeah.
They tin everything.
Yeah.
I got
you got your Tempera paint, yeah?
Well, I've had it for a few days, but I'm sitting here by me and I keep grabbing it like it's a Gatorade. Thank God it's not open.
Well, if it is,
you'll find out. I see that big bottle. It's like I go to grab for it. Like, no, I'm not going to drink that.
Well, no, but that's the same paint you use for finger painting for kids. It's safe to eat. You're okay.
Yeah.
As I said, it's safe for kids. That's why that's how you recommend it.
Just mix a little Vegemite with it.
That stuff.
Yeah.
Vegemite, you'd be good. Oh,
yeah, I mentioned before, I was talking to my son a few weeks ago. I wasn't on camera. We're talking on the phone, and I grabbed my tea here, and I went to shake it up while I was talking to him, and I had the lid off. It's like, oh, no. I dumped it all over me.
Oh, look what I write for me. That's my gas burner for my my smelting furnace.
Nice.
I thought it was some kind of drug paraphernalia.
Well, only people who have been involved in drug paraphernalia would know that.
No. Trust me. I've seen
too late. You can't back out of it. You said it.
No. I don't do
too late. So I have all the parts now I need for my furnace. So this is the part I was waiting to arrive, so I can actually ignite it and heat the thing, because I have a new crucible for it already as well.
Now you can finally forge the tracks for your telescope.
No, this is not for tracks. This is for casting from.
Oh, so you're still going with the excuses on not having that done. Gotcha.
Yes, I am.
It's okay.
Yeah, I don't have time for that yet. I was busy with Toys R Us. I haven't had time for it yet. I'll work on it. Let's see. You could do different colors as well. That would work, Louise, yeah. So, what's everyone's thoughts on the new Maker Gear Micro 3D printer kit? I haven't looked at it.
Never heard of it.
I've been busy with 50,000 other different things. Like, I got a delivery this week, so I'm going to be doing an unboxing Saturday. I got a new Uniformation GK1 5K 10.1 inch screen resin printer. It arrived this week. They're new. But to be honest, they look, and I even spoke with Matt Farmer about it. It looks just like the Weebox. And Weebox do really good printers. So if they're OEMing out of Weebox, it'll be a good printer, right? Because Weebox do good jobs. So Matt's go-to resin, one of his best go-tos is a Weebox printer. So
Yeah.
Nice.
so Maker Gear Micro, I haven't looked at that. I might just look that up. Let me see, Maker Gear Micro.
You off today, Jason?
I am.
Good.
Oh yeah, how's
So
work?
no more misdirecting airplanes to other airports.
No, that's not my job.
That looks like it's 3D printed, Big Mike.
Excuse me.
Here, I'll share it out so everybody can see it. I'm going to share a screen.
Oh,
Yeah, it looks like it's 3D printed.
yeah.
So it's they don't have much details about it. Well, I'm assuming since it's an open source, who's playing rap?
That's got to be Jerry. Yep.
Yeah, it was Jerry.
Yeah,
So
well,
yeah, it looks like you can 3D print this. Hey RC, how are you?
That was Christmas in Brooklyn, right? Jerry?
So
That was Run DMC, right?
Oh, I
Yeah.
don't know who it was. My wife's got this really cool Christmas
Oh,
thing.
it's in the thing.
It
Gotcha.
dances and it walks and shakes, and it ain't shaking, but it's still talking. It's pretty cool.
So I assume I'm guessing we could probably it's an open source machine, so I'm assuming most of this is 3D printed. That's what it looks
Make
like.
me,
Yeah.
make me big.
Sorry?
Make my screen big.
Okay. 1 second. Where am I? There you go. I'm going to get dinged for that.
Christmas in Harlem. Yeah, you probably will.
Yeah. It's cool, though. Jerry is a rapping penguin. Yes, Jerry is a rapping penguin. It's a cool idea. Is that old?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If it's playing
I
Run
wonder how
DMC, it's pretty old.
penguin taste like.
Chicken?
Hmm.
Never tried
Kind of
it.
endangered, so I wouldn't touch them.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, they're not. Some breeds are endangered.
Yeah, the
I'd
good-looking,
imagine.
tasty ones.
I'd imagine it kind of tastes like duck, like a really fatty duck.
Yeah, because
Yeah, I see
I
that.
would assume so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they have lots of plover on them.
Do you see that?
Actually, here in the UK, they're
Yeah,
red.
I'm reading it.
No response.
He's like, yeah, so.
Hmm.
Like, CME CNC is really sitting in the gold
I don't
mine.
need a blue pill. I'm not that old.
I mean, not either. Thank God.
So what? Other than that, so you got your CR30 working, and you don't like it.
So what I was doing,
Other than the electronics.
yeah. So I haven't printed it with it yet because I was I just wanted to go through the electronics because there was no real reviews on going through the electronics, going through the firmware, none of that stuff. So I figured why not do that because I found one here cheap. So
I'm looking for one. If you find one before
like,
me, let me know.
I'm thinking if I can get my hands on a belt printer sometime early, between now and the end of the year or whatever, I will set one up for Toys for Tots, and that's all I'll be doing, 100% of the time. And I already talked with the guys at IC3D that we wanted to get Toys for Tots started earlier next year, way earlier.
Yeah.
6 months early.
I mean January or February early is when I think they should be starting.
12
and have
months
the toy
before.
selected, and then just let us go and find filaments from wherever sources we'll source it. Like some of us have it ourselves. I don't at the moment, but I'll restock. But we'll just go and start printing, and we'll print what we can when we can, and the numbers will be killer numbers before the year is out.
Yeah.
But they need to start it early. And like I'd be game to dedicate it 1 or 2 machines. Like if I had a print mill or something like a belt printer or something like that, I'd start off and hit go, and I'd put a 10-kilo spool on the back of it, and just let it run.
The real Sam Prentice said on Jim's screen he printed some large parts for his droid on the CR30, and they were completely wrong. They weren't even close to being right in the length and the specs.
yeah, they're like 10 millimeters off on like the long parts. So.
Well,
I
I'm
think you got a
sure you
problem
can tune that though.
with the way that the layers stack, that the shear strength on it is in the wrong place when you print it on the belt printer.
Degrees,
yeah, so you end up snapping off the legs on the larger droids, and some other pieces have some weak points as well. If it wasn't him, it was somebody who was saying. I think it was him. But yeah, and it's super slow.
You could always design them where you have a hole right down all the way through the leg, and you could push rods into it just to reinforce it. 2 rods, one in each opposing corner, and that would sustain it,
Yeah.
But so if as I said, if I get a belt, it won't be used for that. The belt will go for Toys for Tots, and I'll try and start printing as early as I can, because I kind of pushed them a little bit. I met one of the guys yesterday. In Novi, which is not far from me, about 20 minutes.
So how many boxes did you have to give him?
4.
That all fit in 4 boxes?
I got him. Yeah, the trains took up 2 boxes. But some of them were sizable boxes.
Were they surprised that you had so much stuff?
Yeah, a little bit. He came down with one of those. I told him there'd be 4 boxes, so he came down with a luggage cart. And he brought it out to the car, because I met him at the hotel, so that's 4 boxes full.
Wow. Yeah, my hub rep finally got back to me and asked me, if I knew if I could give him a number, like how many toys, what kind, what types I thought I'd have in the end, and because I'm going to ship them to him because he's 7 hours away. That's the closest one to me. So. He said, he's like, oh, maybe you should ship that directly to IC3D. And I'm like, no, you already gave me your address because it's half the distance. It'll be less the cost.
Well,
I'll look at it, but
here's a way they should change it. Here's my thoughts on this. Toys for Tots, if you have a Marine base nearby you, they'll take in the toys for Tots, right?
There's an Air Force base here, and that's it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if there was any Marine bases wherever nearby you, I'm sure they would take it in, because the Marine Reserves run the Toys for Tots program, and all we need to do is track the numbers and report them in. And if we can drop them off at a local Marine base or military base where the Marine Reserves are based, or even a recruiting office, the Marine recruiting offices might even take it and they'll transport it for you, that would probably solve all these logistical problems that go away.
They don't want to pay for all the shipping either.
Well, see, but they always do transportation around.
To a recruiting station?
Well, I'm not saying the recruiting station would get some stuff in, and they'd be shipping forms out and stuff, and even a local base will always have it, and they'll distribute it locally. Green tea,
Yeah.
Jerry.
They could do that.
Really, really strong. My son gave me 3 of these. He got at Costco.
Is
It's
it green tea
Japanese
or is it,
unsweetened green tea. It's really strong.
Yeah, I like green tea, but I drink it hot. I don't drink it cold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know what would work best logistically for them, not being in the discussions they have on what their concerns are. But I agree with you. They should start a whole lot earlier, and they should not. I know this year the shipping was a challenge to get
Hey,
the
Matt, how are
filament
you?
out,
Hey, Dominic.
but to get you more than 2 weeks with the filament, with time enough to box it and ship it and get it to your hub by the due date. Yeah.
Well, and okay, what I've also heard is those who are first time in the system get less filament than those who've been doing it a while because they know they'll print and use it, right? Because they've done it before,
Right.
and that's fine. But but I think logistically they should work with your local base. They shouldn't ask having people ship it back to them. They should actually get it like I did, lay it all out, take photographs of it, and then box up and give it to your local base and take care of it.
Well, I mean, a lot of other places probably are closer to a hub.
Yeah.
It just happens that I'm not.
My nearest hub is 3.5 hours away, which is Columbus, Ohio. Right?
Yeah. Well,
I
that's
was going to
closer than
drive
mine.
down. It's closer than yours, yeah. But I was going to drive down, but then I saw on their Discord that they were having an event in Novi. The AmCon event was in Novi, which is 20 minutes from me.
So you just went there, met him, and gave it to him?
So yeah, I emailed Maria, and she says, here's the contact information for the guy you want to deal with. And then I called him, and he said, yeah, drop over around 5 this evening if you want, and meet me at the hotel. So I did, and he came out and he collected the stuff.
Cool.
So they're going to bring it back, so it's going to save me the drive.
Nice.
So yeah, if other places like fire departments or even the Shriners or whoever, we could find distribution points where we could drop it off. We just report the numbers back, and I think that's probably the logistically it makes more sense because there is more and more people. Like the more I show images of what I've done, I get a lot of people saying, "How could I get involved in this?" and so on. I get lots of questions like that. So my response is, go sign up through IC3D's website. And that's fine for tracking, but I still think logistically. First of all, they won't be able to keep up with the filament demand.
Well, what if they want to look at the toys before they're donated in their company's name? If I print a bunch of crap toys and the wheels are falling off and a little kid grabs it and swallows a wheel, before they got a chance to look at it, that's on them, kind of?
No, it's not on anybody because it's up to so I'm sure the Marines.
I know, but it's still, it goes back to, well, you guys,
Yeah, I understand that, but still, the issue is the logistic costs have gotten expensive.
Yeah.
And with more and more people want to get involved, they won't be able to meet the demand of filament.
No, but and I know they were offered filament from other companies, like from other big companies, U.S. companies. I know they were offered filament and they turned it down because they wanted it printed in their own filament. Okay, that's fine.
That's fine, but only
and that's
two
fine.
schools.
So then they were offered other things in exchange, and they turned it down. And so other companies were asking them, what can we do to help you with this? Because we're not necessarily set up. We didn't plan on doing a Toys for Tots program. How can we help you? And they said, give us money
to help with logistics.
Right. So which is fine, but if you're gonna do that, start partnering, like you said, earlier in the year rather than asking somebody at the last minute, hey, would you mind donating $5,000 or would you mind $1,500 or whatever? Many companies will, many companies won't, or won't be able to, and then I think they could plan for it a lot better. And if they just want to send out the filament at one time towards the end of the year, based on how many people sign up, I think they can plan for that better, because they can start, they can do mystery filaments like coax, their transition rolls. They can put that off to the side. Those are colors too.
Yeah.
And they can ship that stuff out. They don't necessarily have to send, like they sent me 5 kilos of orange for Christmas stuff. I mean, it's a toy all through the year.
I got two. I got 2 1 kilo spools. One was red, one was clear, and I printed them with toys. And I switched the wheels. Whenever I ran 2 colors, the colors of the wheels off one went on went with the body of the others. Right? You want to mix it up. Some were all red, not all of them, but some were. But there were some mixture. Jerry, you were saying?
I was going to ask Shane a question about his MP-CNC. Do you use it quite a bit?
It's kind of an off and on sort of deal.
Have you ever had any reason why you might want to upgrade to a something different that's not an MP-CNC, a regular CNC? Are you happy with it, or?
There's a few things like obviously once you get something like that going, you want to start cutting aluminum at some point. So that's kind of where I'm at. Like, there's a few things that would be nice to be able to cut aluminum. So if I were to upgrade, it'd probably be the Print NC. That would be probably my next machine once I get employment and get some money going again. So,
do you have any interviews this week?
Next week Tuesday.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Good luck, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, and then after that, probably be off to the job recruiter type places, and if I don't get that one, I'll roll onto that.
So, well, I'm sure you'll find something now, because there is lots of work out there. It's just the process takes time to go through it.
Yeah, and then also too, I don't want to just jump into any old job. Like there was a job fair at the local airport. I could have gotten into TSA, that day if I was really hurting for a job, but don't really want to do that yet.
Sure.
There's no harm in like a TSA job is a government paid job.
Mm-hmm.
You get all the benefits, and it's not hard work.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's the other the job that I have at the local school is a government paid job too. So, and that's probably pays a little bit more, and I have advancement options working through a school like that.
Yeah, if you can avoid TSA, I would say avoid it. It beats digging a ditch for sure, but the other side of that is it's always better to look for a job while you have one. You can be a little more picky.
I worked for a while digging ditches. There's nothing wrong with digging ditches.
Yes, there is. Pick and shovel.
I've done it.
Pick and shovel, jackhammer. It's back-breaking. It kills you.
Jackhammer is worse than a pick and shovel. And I've done them. I've worked construction, so not as much as you have, Jerry, but I've done construction.
Yeah.
But standing there yelling at people who don't want to take their shoes off is still easier.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, I work construction. I work concrete gang. You know how hard that is. So,
pouring concrete, pulling slick line.
Out there with the concrete pouring in, and you're out there with a shovel spread, moving it around. Getting it laid out before you screed it and stuff. Yeah, that's hard. That's backbreaking work.
Yeah.
So well, my dad was in construction.
They call it a mud cutter here in Vegas. I was never a mud cutter. I helped one small job, but no, it'll kill you.
No, well, I've done it.
I remember years ago, a guy from back east came to our union hall when I used to be in the union, and he says, "The sign up there says mud cutter. They want 10 mud cutters. What's a mud cutter?" He didn't know they meant concrete. It's just a term for concrete mud.
Yeah, they also have trenching machines too, but that's like just about as bad too. Yeah, it's one of those things. I'm actually pretty good for a couple of months before I absolutely 100% have to find something. So, and I'm going to be actively looking after Thanksgiving, anyways. If I the school doesn't come through. So,
yeah, I've always had the attitude that is if I ever become unemployed, I don't care. I'll sweep the street. I'm fine with a broom if I have to take a broom up and sweep the street, because whatever puts food on the table is all I care about. Right? And that's the way it is. If you don't have that attitude and you only want to get the one specific type of job, then you'll be waiting a while. But that means there's no food, there's no income coming in, and that's not the way I think. So
I went over my
So you don't hold out for the CEO position?
no, unless it's the CEO of the coffee pot, then I'll probably get that one.
I went over my sister's house earlier. She has an older house. In her bathroom, she can hear a hissing sound. It's a water leak in her kitchen. The wall behind the bathroom, there's a minor little bit of water on the tile, really minor. I went out and checked the meter at the street. You don't see the water meter running, so whatever it is, it's very little. She called the insurance company up, which is $75 to $100, American Home Shield. Of course, they come out and they told her the same thing I already told her. And they said, we'll get back with her. And they got back with her. They said, well, we won't cover it, but it's going to be at least $3,000. So Friday, her little brother, which is me, I've got to go into the kitchen cabinet down below underneath, cut the back out of the cabinet. If I can't pop it out, cut out the drywall that's directly behind the shower, try to determine which pipe is leaking and hope I can fix it from that side. Because God forbid I go in the bathroom, because I can't bust all the tile out of the shower and do all that, or rip the tub out. You got to go in from behind the wall. So
listen to each pipe. Listen to each. Do you have a stethoscope?
Yeah, I'll find it. I'll see the problem. I got to cut off the drywall where they're all exposed. They have whenever they build a shower, it's called a tree. And I already seen the top of the tree when I took off
where the mixer is,
turn the left, like the mixer is. I've already looked at that with a hole about that big. It's down below that somewhere. So I'll find it. It just sucks. So I may or may not be streaming Saturday because of this.
That's funny. Yeah, being a business owner is a lot of work. I once decided, I said, whenever I retire, I'm going to go get myself the perfect job where I'll stand outside a gas station and I'll smile and I'll put gas in the gas station into your car for you, and I'll clean your windshield and wave goodbye as you move on, and then do it the same for the next person. That's my ideal.
I'm not employed. I can't make my $2,000 a month house payment. Please help. You make good money every day.
Yeah, those guys do make good money out there.
Dress nice, don't lie, and hold up a sign.
Yeah, no, I read an article that I don't know how vast the data was, but they estimated that on average, you can't say they're homeless or whatever because you really don't know. There's people out there that live in mansions that hold up signs all day long.
Yeah.
But that if they do it on a daily basis, they bring in anywhere from $95,000 to $105,000 a year when you count the money, the food, the goods, whatever they're given throughout the year. And that's, taking into factoring like if they were to pay taxes and all things like that. I'm like, well, that's a pretty good job if you want to stand out in the sun and the snow, but in the rain. But
the sun would be fine. The snow I wouldn't do.
I went through a major intersection earlier on the east side of town. There's a convenience store. It's got a real nice planter out front, rocks and plants. And there's a guy living in it with all this crap everywhere. Unbelievable. They're popping up everywhere. Homeless people with their cardboard and shopping carts. Unbelievable.
There's a shopping center out here that it has a really bad point of exit, and cars really get kind of jammed up, and they start fighting each other, chicken with the cars to get out. There's a homeless guy that stands there, and if you give him $1, he'll block the traffic. He'll stand in front of the other cars for you and let you get out. He makes good money. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, with the job stuff, there's specific jobs that I want to do, so I don't want to get stuck into something. I just, I lasted 10 years at this last pace. In the last 2 years, it was just kind of soul crushing, not very fun. So I want something that I want to do. So I'm not gonna just go pick up any old job.
I know. I'm just saying it like yeah, but I've always had that attitude. Even though I have to say, I think in total since I was 18 years old, there was 2 years when I was not working.
Yeah,
and that was it. 2 years ever, and I've always gone job to job. I've been lucky.
It's been pretty much 3 weeks for me since I turned 18. So
no, I was 2 years.
Yeah,
and that was because the economy was in the tank at the time in Ireland, and then things started turning around.
Pigeons and homeless people in Las Vegas are the same thing.
Yeah.
for lots of reasons.
Yeah, it'll probably be 4 weeks after Thanksgiving week if I don't get the job on Tuesday. So
My guess is it'll come fast.
yeah,
Because a lot of companies now, they have budget at the end of the year and they need to consume it. So
Yep.
now is a good time, or the beginning of the next year. If they don't have openings now, they're looking now. They'll start looking now to hire in January when their budget renews.
Yeah.
So that's the way it often happens. So the end of the year is a good time, and the beginning of the next year is a really good time as well when the budgets turn around.
Yeah, and some positions, if they don't fill them before the end of this year, they'll lose them next year because they'll say, "Well, you spent all year without it. You obviously don't need it." And nobody wants to lose a position if they don't have to.
So Built Over Bot wants to be a gigolo. The only question there is, do you have to pay them or do they pay you?
Yeah, somewhere somebody build over a month. Somebody will give you $5 somewhere.
But
yeah.
We just started and the conversation's gone downhill already.
Yeah.
You ever seen Deuce Bigelow, Male Gigolo?
I did, yeah, that's funny, yeah.
Yeah.
Work is
In Las Vegas. Before I was working in Las Vegas, I was living in Los Angeles, and the company what I was working for was a pet store, and they're actually in one of the other pet stores they were filming the film.
All right.
Bigelow, Male Gigolo. And I actually went there when they were filming, etc. It was pretty interesting. Showed me around the set, etc. And I was able to go on the truck and eat as much as I wanted to. And
oh yeah, they always on those movie sets. They always have the best of food.
Yeah,
they always have the best of food.
They have scampies and steak and
and like even their breakfast. You go in there first in the morning. Their breakfast array is phenomenal. They bring in some of the best catering firms out there to come in and cater for them. Yeah, there's never a shortage of really good food there.
When I was in the Marines, I went to visit someone at one of the squadrons in California, and when I went out towards the hangar, they had a table with tables with a bunch of food out, and I was like, oh, somebody's retiring. So I just walked up, started to make some food. Some people walked up, started talking to me. I'm like, whatever, and I see some folks staring out the door, looking at me, laughing and shaking their head, like, and I'm like, what? I walk over. Well, it was craft services because they were filming Independence Day.
All right.
Behind the hangar. Yeah. So I didn't know because I wasn't stationed there. I was just in the area and stopped by to say hi.
And you were hungry.
I'm just eating their food, and Harry Connick Jr. is making a plate. He's a nice guy. I didn't even know who he was. I was just like, oh, hey, how you doing? Thanks. Nice.
Yeah, but see, they don't even know. You could be part of the extended crew there as well. They don't even know.
Oh, they don't know. And I didn't even know. I didn't know they were doing it. I didn't know who they were. I had no idea.
They wouldn't care anyway because there's always so much food there.
No, they didn't. Nobody said anything, but, they're just like,
go almost anywhere.
Really?
You can go almost anywhere if you have a clipboard in your hand. That way you look like you're a delivery man or you're somebody. Most people will never question you. Just walk in like you know where you're going, and nobody's going to say nothing.
No, the secret is to walk fast with pieces of paper in your hand. Then you look busy. And especially in a movie set, it looks like you're rushing around with script changes. They leave you the hell alone. They get out of your way.
I've heard of people crashing movie stars parties and stuff all the time on the internet and just dress the part and know how to play it and just walk in like you belong there, and half the time they don't even recognize you.
I've been on 4 movie sets. Yeah, I've been on 4 movie sets, and the food in all of them is fantastic.
Oh yeah, you did the
Braveheart.
Yeah.
And Saving Private Ryan as well was also recorded in Ireland. But it was on some other small ones too. But the food is always fantastic at them, especially the large movies, the international movies. They have excellent food there.
So was it Saving Private Ryan or Saving Ryan's Privates?
They did both. They say, so here I think I showed you this before. Did I? Let me get it.
Liam,
that's your sword.
From the set. This is a metal one. That's steel.
Nice.
Most of the others were actually foam rubber. but this is a steel and actually and hand sewn leather for the scabbard.
Nice.
So yeah, that was fun. That was I think it was what, 14 weeks. I think it was.
Wow.
That was long. It was all the battle scenes. We recorded all the battle scenes for them. It was funny. You play both sides. You play in one. You get up in the morning, one morning, and you're putting on the Scottish gear, the kilts and so on, and then the next morning you're putting on the English gear, and then the next morning you kind of do you divide it half and half, and then the next morning you go back and redo the same scenes all over again, back into the Scottish gear and back into the English gear, because you do every scene you do it about 5 times, and the days are about 14 hours long is average. They're really long days.
Go to,
Link-
go to
what
private
link?
chat.
Look where? Private?
Go to private chat.
Yeah. I don't know who you are. Can you give? I don't know this person. So whoever you are, please give us some background on yourself first, because I haven't seen you.
Yeah, this woman.
I know her.
The
She's from
picture of
the
it.
EastEnders. Yeah.
EastEnders, yeah.
Yeah. So that guy. Let me bring in whoever this guy is called that guy. Let me bring him in and see what he's up to. Hey, who are you?
How you doing?
Can't hear you. Your mic is not working. Hello?
Still
I can't hear you. That guy or whatever. What's your name?
It's
Mic is
that
not
guy.
working.
That guy's mic isn't working.
Yeah, that guy's mic is not working. He's gone.
That guy's gone.
Yeah.
Oh, that
You know
guy.
who that guy was?
No.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah. So like when we got to take, some of us got to take home. Those of us who were there a long time got to take home something like that, and that was the sword I had throughout the whole thing. So there's a few of us were doing some of the more up close stuff with the camera. Like you'd have the main actors and you have the stuntmen around them, and then we'd have us. Some of us were selected to do more the. We did training with the stuntmen because we were right behind them. Because when they were charging through the crowd, it was us they were hitting into. They were running into us, and they trained us on how to do throws and stuff like that, so no one would get hurt. So we were the filling in right behind that before the computer kicked in, and then all the rest of the background stuff.
HC, how you doing?
Hey, HC, how are you? So yeah, it's interesting that
right?
at least he had clothes on. Well, I can see a preview beforehand, so yes.
I mean, it was pretty dark in a
yeah,
dark
I-
room.
It was
It
dark.
not.
I've had those go south, so you just got to be careful.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
Mickey,
Yeah.
Steve.
Hey, Mickey,
Hey,
Steve.
Mickey Steve.
Hey, Mickey Steve.
So yeah, so it was interesting. It was an interesting while up there. It was fun. It was busy, but it's fun. It's a fun experience. I had to get my Actors Guild membership when I was part of it, because we needed to do that. Otherwise, we were breaking union laws. So we had to get our Actors Guild. So I still have mine.
How many film credits did you get for it?
None. I was in the military reserves at the time, because when you leave the military, you go to the
Yeah,
reserves.
they pulled your
And-
reserves.
And as part of the reserves, they just quoted the list us all as part of the Irish
Yeah.
military reserves. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was fun though, because a lot of the kids who were in there, because in Ireland you have the option of joining just the reserves only, never no full-time military, and a lot of the kids, the younger guys who were there, all put their hands up because they all wanted to be part of this, and so they all went out. So it was fun for them, and they wanted the military because it was easier to control us. We do what we're told because we're under orders, right? So
Yeah.
instead of having 1,000 people who are members of the public who don't want to listen to you, and 1,000 guys in the military, you say fall in, you got your lines, right? It happens very quickly, so it makes life easier for them.
Well, your lines weren't hard, right? They were just what? Rah! That was your lines? I mean, did you get them right?
Yes, I did. I could remember. See, I know I have a pea brain, but come on, man. That's funny. Yeah, but like getting everyone to fall into rank and all that kind of stuff was so easier. And getting like when you're lined up like the British,
Yeah.
they marched. One thing the military knows how to do really well is march. So it was easier to get us to do that. But the way they did it was kind of cool. They actually they separate you out in your ranks. Okay, they lay out in your rank, and there's big gaps between the rank that you're on and the one behind you.
They digitally fill it in.
What they do is they randomly pick people scattered around there, and then they use a computer to multiply them, and they build it all out. So
Yeah.
So you're like if you really could look, if you could pause the frame, and there would be no blurring in the frame. If you really looked, you could probably say, "I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, I'm back there, I'm over here."
Yeah.
Like they took at one point, they took. Remember in the part of Falkirk when you see the military coming in on both sides, and you have the big line of horses in front that does the first charge, and they use the poles to kill the horses. Remember
Sounds
that battle?
familiar.
That's the Battle of Falkirk, right?
Okay.
In that movie, they took 1,000. They took 700 of us, I think, because they brought in extra guys to do more fill-in. Because I was in the first, I was up there with the first 200.
You
Yeah,
only need
most
about
of the
10 people, then CGI them and copy them. And,
That's what they did, yeah.
Yeah.
But they didn't just take a group of people; they randomized them. So it was actually the computer did it all.
Yeah.
They had a guy that they brought in from Hollywood to do this, and this guy was getting paid something like 10 grand a day just to multiply people on the computer.
Wow.
That's what his whole job was, and that was his specialty, right? So, but they took something like 700 people and made it to look like 10,000.
Yeah, that's what they did in when I went and watched Independence Day. I could see the stuff that they had changed, so that the squadron that they were at filming at the time, I don't know if it is now, but at the time it was the largest F-18 squadron in the DoD. So they had about 75 planes. They did a lot of filming there, and then when I'm watching the movie, that the hangar and the flight line was multiplied, so there were more planes. But I knew what it was because I recognized the hangar and went, "Oh wow, I see what they did." And then they took the entire backdrop out of it and kind of set it in the desert to make it look like where they were driving through the desert to go to Area 51.
Yes, it is.
So that was what that was they filmed in the desert. Apparently they filmed at the flight line, and then they digitally made it kind of work.
That's HDR. That's high dynamic range merging is what they do. Now, I do that with astrophotography images too. Like the one you've seen in my solar eclipse. That's the HDR rendering. But they do. They'd record some of it, and they can actually select and just pull out the backdrop, and they can drop it in wherever they want. You can do that with Adobe. What's it called? After Effects. You do that, and it's very easy to do.
Yeah.
You don't even have to use a green screen. It's easier if you use a green screen, but you don't have to.
Yeah. And it was funny. Like I knew most of watching the extras in the back. Yeah. I would be able to recognize a few of them, the maintenance guys and in the ready room. They filmed it in a real ready room. I knew that ready room. I knew those pilots. Some were Navy, some were Marine Corps. I'm like, wow, they let that guy in the movie.
What was that guy? He plays Samwise Gamgee in Lord of the Rings.
Oh, he's from Goonies.
Yes. I can't remember his name, but he does a movie after Lord of the Rings he was in that was based in an office. There was a tire manufacturer. I can't remember the name of the movie, but the company I was with prior to where I am right now is an automotive company, and one of their old offices that we IT were still based in because we had a data center there. One of the offices there, or part of the office. Hey Jerry, what's up?
I have to get going. I got some stuff I got to take care of.
Oh, okay.
So everybody have a great night. And I may or may not be streaming Saturday based on what I find at my sister's house on Friday. She's
Well,
got
I
a
will
leak
be.
in the bathroom, and I got to cut out drywall. And anyway,
Yeah, I will be doing an unboxing Saturday morning for sure.
awesome.
The box is here.
I'll try to catch it. And like I said,
Take
I may
care,
or may not
be
be
safe.
streaming. Everybody have a great night. Take care.
Yeah.
Take care, Jerry.
See you, Jerry.
Bye bye.
But so Louise, yes, I did come in contact with the horses there. Yeah. They
Sean
had
asked
mixture.
him.
Yeah, but they actually recorded all of that stuff in that office space, and we were actually downstairs in a data center because in that building they were slowly moving out of that building, and we were actually in but our data center was still there. We hadn't moved yet, so I was actually based there,
Hmm.
and it's in Southfield here in Michigan, and they recorded all of it there. So we get
Yeah.
to see the crew, and we hung out outside when some of the stuff was going on, and the guys were really nice. You know, they're really nice to deal with. They came out to us, and they came out and hung out with us and chatted with us and stuff, and when we're in between shoots. But it was kind of fun.
That's good.
We even helped them set up some of their offices because we were IT guys, so, and then we make stuff look authentic. So we actually went up and we helped them out, and the company gives us a thumbs up to do it because
That's cool.
they were renting it to the movie studio.
Yeah. Well, they got to film somewhere, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. That's like when I lived in South Florida, there were TV shows that you'd see every now and then. They'd have, you know, some roads blocked off or something blocked off. Dexter was filmed there.
All right.
I don't know, some other kind of like spy TV show was filmed there in Miami. I forget the name of it now, but
Burn Notice.
Burn Notice. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that one, sometimes we'd go down and there would be, you know, a couple streets that would just be blocked off for filming, you know. I did see the guy's car. I never saw really anybody because I wasn't there to watch. We're like, oh, great. Now we can't go this way. The road's blocked. But then, you know, I would see a couple of the props or whatever and stuff. And,
yeah.
You know, Dexter they filmed it where he lived.
The
his apartment or whatever was right there on the, not the canal, on the, anyway, it was right on the water. So anytime you went out that way, and they filmed there a lot, you know.
Yeah, there was a lot. I didn't see all of Dexter, but I saw a fair amount of it, and there was a lot of stuff based in his apartment, especially not at the beginning so much, but later on they showed more of it.
Yeah.
We
just watched the new season. We watched the first episode last night.
Oh, there's a new season?
Yeah, it's called Dexter New Blood or New Blood. Yeah, it's on Showtime.
It's not the same guys, is it?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
It's a continuation of his story, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to give away what it was about, but
yeah,
you know.
I don't watch too much TV. I watched Dexter because it was an interesting concept,
Mhm.
and I liked the idea of it. And it was kind of cool that he. It's a bit like Peter Parker in Spider-Man. You know, he worked for the police. Oh no, sorry, the Flash.
But he's a mass
He worked for
murderer.
the police.
He's a serial killer. Yeah.
As forensics.
Yeah, just like it.
So it's very, very similar. Yes, it is. Because Parker worked in forensics for the police, and they were hunting him down as
Peter
Spider-Man.
Parker, he was a photographer for the newspaper.
Oh no! I'll tell you, the Flash. Sorry, the Flash.
Oh,
He
okay.
worked in the forensics
Yeah.
for the police. Sorry, forgive
Yeah.
me. Yeah, and then you had that where he worked in forensics with the police. You know, they're very similar.
Yeah.
So
in this one, obviously, he's out of that line of work.
I never saw the end of it.
It's 10 or 15. I think it's 10 years later.
Yeah, I never saw
where
the
it
end,
picks
so I
back
don't
up.
know. I never saw
Oh, okay.
the end.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. I probably never will watch it, but I've never seen the
Yeah.
end of it.
Yeah.
I
started out
think I
okay.
went as far as when his sister found out about him,
Yeah. Okay.
and that's about as far as I went. I just kind
Yeah.
of gave up on that. It was getting a bit weird.
Well, I think that was the last season. By
It
the time
was
she
somewhere,
found out,
maybe,
right?
maybe
Yeah.
it was. I think so. Maybe I'm not sure. I watched it to a point, and I went, "Yeah, it's getting a bit weird now."
Yeah.
So it's like I used to always love, what was it? The Mulder and Scully. What was that called?
X-Files.
Files.
Oh, you love the X-Files? and I liked the quirkiness of it, and then it just got strange. And it's a bit like there's a couple of other shows like that. They do really good content all the way up, and all of a sudden they go weird, and you kind of go, "What's the point of this?"
Yeah. Well, I think sometimes too it's like they get told like, okay, you're gonna have to wrap it up this season, and they're in the middle of the season, so then they got to figure out how to
No,
do
but
it.
I mean, they could have lots of seasons still to go,
No,
and they
okay.
just went weird.
Gotcha.
What was that other one?
I tried watching X-Files when it came back, and I just couldn't get into it. It just wasn't.
You
I don't
grew
know.
out of
Maybe
it.
I wanted it to be the same.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was expecting, but it was just hard to watch. It was hard to follow. I don't know.
And what was the other one that came after that? There was these scientists.
The CSI stuff?
No.
Eureka?
Eureka. No, it wasn't Eureka. No, it was a different
I
one.
liked Eureka.
No, it was another one where they were kind of
That
working
one
out
got
of a
weird
basement.
too. They were.
Warehouse 13.
No.
That was a good one too. I did like that one.
Which one?
Warehouse 13.
Yeah, that kind of got a bit strange as well. They start out really good, strong storyline, and all of a sudden they go off into this tangent out in the middle of nowhere, and you kind of go,
Yeah.
it was good, it was okay. Why the hell did you change the format? Like The Big Bang Theory was phenomenal all the way through.
Never watched it. Not one episode.
You serious? That's hilarious, and the science in it is
It's like
actually
Friends.
Yeah.
good. I never know. Well, it's better than Friends because it's really nerdy, quirky stuff. Whereas Friends is just.
Yeah. Even like Friends. I mean,
I
if
never watched Friends. I
may
watched
have
a few
seen
episodes. Yeah.
3 or 4 episodes. The same with Seinfeld. Maybe I watched 3 or 4 just
Yeah.
because I couldn't get away from it or something.
Well, yeah, I'm
not because
saying-
I wanted to.
Yeah, I'm the same with Seinfeld. I'm the same with Friends. I've seen a few of them. The Big Bang Theory, though, yeah, I agree with you, Chris. It's fantastic. It's really funny. And it's
Yeah,
science
I just don't
funny,
watch.
so it's even
I don't
better.
watch like I don't know. I don't watch a lot of shows, but they just. I mean, I have to be interested in what it is, and if it not just the subject, but the whole package has to be interesting, and I don't. Those people aren't interesting to me in either of those shows, so it just wasn't.
To me, it was the nerdy side of it that I liked.
Well, you would. Yeah.
What are you trying to say?
I think that they were everything you wanted to be, right? When you grew up,
Maybe.
or when you do grow up.
When I do grow up, that's a better one. So, oh, by the way, the SpaceX is doing a launch tonight.
Mm-mm.
Oh, good for them.
Mm-mm.
They're launching the Crew 3 back to the space station. Let me see.
All I know, I'm not on it.
Didn't they just bring
Not
some people
important.
back?
They did, and now they're getting ready to launch. It's an hour's time, but then the crew are already on board. So they brought back Crew 2 and Crew 3 are going up now. So, yeah, it's quick turnaround. They wanted to launch these guys last week, but the weather wasn't good. The weather went against the upper atmosphere winds and stuff, and that was bad. So they had to wait for good weather, and because they normally have the crew who's leaving normally does a handoff to the crew that's incoming, and they couldn't do that this time.
Well, why can't they do what the sci-fi movies do? I mean, they just seem to be able to take off and land whenever they want.
I know, yeah. Well,
I mean, if they
maybe
figured
someday.
it out there, why can't SpaceX figure it out?
Yeah.
Speaking of that, this printer back here, the owner of the company, he does a kind of, sometimes it's weekly, but I guess SpaceX bought a few of them. He went in, did a presentation, and they called him back and said, "Hey, we want your printer," and
Which
they
one's
bought a few of them. That's the Daedalus from Project Red,
Nice.
and I guess they're making probably prototype parts. I don't know if they're really printing space parts on that printer. Maybe a different printer, maybe not that printer, but that one probably prototypes.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yes and no. Depends on what it is, right?
Well, yeah, I guess. Yeah.
There is some 3D printable parts that they use will fit live, will go into an actual machine, a rocket, right? Other parts, like they do 3D print engine bells,
Okay.
right? They actually do that today, and other components are 3D printed for rockets
I know
today.
there's a company that I don't remember the name of it. I was watching a thing about them. They 3D print rockets, space rockets,
Mhm.
and they do it in like, I guess they came up with some new technology or whatever, and they can manufacture an entire ready to go, like drive it off the showroom floor rocket in like 6 or 8 weeks rather than years.
Depends on the size of the rocket, yeah, but yeah, maybe
Well, I'm
like
sure. I mean,
for
yeah,
sounding rockets and stuff like that, yeah.
but I mean, these are like the way they looked and the way they talked about them. I mean, these were cargo haulers, passenger haulers. You could take them up, bring them back. The cost was low. You could do it real fast.
There's more and more of that happening now.
I was like,
There's
and
a
they're,
lot
I
more
mean,
of
they're
that
metal, and the process that they kind of showed a little clip of it, not really long enough for you to kind of really
It's like
get into their
it's like a
business,
laser.
but you
It's
know,
like laser sintering, but the only difference is they're actually or it's actually more like
I
the
don't.
way
It
they use
wasn't
it. It's
like
like
it wasn't sintering. It
no,
was.
it's like a TIG welding is what they
It
do,
was it was
and
kind of
they
like
do it
it was
around in the
welding as the
circumference.
metal, yeah, because
Yeah,
it was a big arm kind of going around and round and round and round,
yeah,
doing this dome or
yeah.
section or
That's the
whatever it
engine belt.
was. Yeah.
That dome is engine belt. Right? So what they're doing is it's a bit like TIG welding where you feed the rod through that's
Hmm.
actually melted, but they're using it. They're actually they're melting it with lasers in most cases.
Mm.
Is what they do. They melt it on. They fuse it with lasers. Now there's good and bad with those because they have to be careful to get no air pockets in there as they work.
Hmm.
So, because if you get any air pockets in there, now you've introduced flaws in the material, which are
Yeah.
obviously something you don't want when you're launching something, right?
Yeah. Well, I
So,
mean, their facility seemed like, and the business that they've apparently they've been doing it for a long time. It was just a new process that they came up with to do it in a
faster.
tenth of the time. Yeah, a whole lot faster. And I mean, I was like, you're printing a metal space rocket structurally sound faster than I'm printing a Benchy. That's just ridiculous.
Shane,
But that's $80 million on a on a printer.
yeah. Shane, what's up?
I was gonna say I gotta hop off here, so
Okay, well, the launch is in 1 hour.
okay.
So if you are dropping off, if you want to follow it, it's
All right.
happening in 1 hour. You can check it out on the SpaceX website or on NASA's site.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna hop over to Tripod. He's unboxing another printer, and
You're
usually those-
abandoning me.
Oh,
That
I didn't know
hurt.
he was on.
If you
I
He's-
see you,
want,
Liam.
I want to see things go poof.
before you
He's
go,
he's unboxing the Odin, the
I
focus
can
printer.
unbox the old
Yeah, he's got one there.
He's unboxing the flame.
Wait now,
Yeah.
he's unboxing the Odin. Come on, that's old news. The focus is old news. Everybody's done
I
that.
know.
Yeah,
Literally
that's why I can
everybody's
stay
done
here,
that.
stay
Even
here.
Matt has one.
I
Yeah,
mean, look,
even Matt has one.
Dora offered it to me, and I'm like, no, thanks. Are you sure? No, really, it's okay. I don't need it. Okay, well, if you want one, let me know. I'll send you one. No, thank you.
No, well, they're a new company. They're trying to get their name out
No,
there.
I
And they're
know.
doing-
I have no business with one.
You
I
know,
don't
but
need.
they're decent little machines.
No, I've watched the reviews. I've talked to
Yeah.
people, and they're good printers. I just
Yeah.
don't have a need for it.
I know.
I don't have a desire to review it. I don't.
Yeah. I joked with Tripod, like, oh yeah, it's a foldable printer. So like when it's broken, you can just fold it up and like store it, in less space. And people were
Hey,
just
Nolan.
up in arms about it.
Oh
I'm
no.
like it's a joke. Like,
Yeah. And by the way, not everybody's done it. I don't have one.
The trash panda doesn't have one. Oh no.
No. But the giveaway on Tripod Stream says those with multiple printers, please do pass on the printer.
Oh, is
No,
he giving
just-
it away?
If he gets to a high enough viewer count, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That means Dora's probably under with him.
Yeah.
yeah. I don't need another printer. I mean, I've got one back there that I gotta actually make work properly. So
Yeah.
I've gotten one. I got one delivered already. It arrived yesterday.
I wouldn't mind one because it'd probably work better than my Enders.
So that guy, can you do me a favor? That guy, can you, before you come on, can you put some words in chat so you can introduce yourself to us, because we don't know you, and we want to be careful about who we leave on stream. We've had spammers coming on, so can you
That's
put
quality there.
Oh, that's really good. Nice tinting job.
It'll never fray. That's
Can
perfect.
you type something in chat and give us a little bit of background on yourself?
Not in private chat?
Wherever. Private chat will be fine. Because we don't know you, and we want to be careful of who we bring on. It is open to everybody, but we just do a quick intro in private chat there. Type
It
in
can't be that hard. They let me in here.
Oh,
I mean,
all about
we've seen Zolan. We know he's a real person behind the furry cuteness.
No, he's not. That's making.
There's no furry cuteness behind the furry cuteness, but there's furry cuteness up front. Yeah.
Oh, there is, but I keep it clothed.
I spelled him in person. I know he's a real person.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to bring in that guy, but we got to be ready to. Okay, so we're going to see what he's up to.
Any bets?
No. Well, I'm ready with the button.
Jesus Christ, he's trying to fucking put me off already.
Hey, okay.
Language.
Right, language. Sorry.
He tries
So
to
you're
keep
from Scotland.
keep this one
Whereabouts in Scotland?
PG-13.
That was definitely I know there straight away, wasn't it?
Whereabouts in Scotland are you from?
Glasgow. I'm from Glasgow.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the Glaswegian accent is pretty strong.
That's why I was swearing straight away.
Yeah. Every second word in Glasgow is F this and F that.
Oh, it definitely is. So it's going to be hard for me to stay in this stream. I will say that much.
So, are you into 3D printing?
What's that?
Are you into 3D printing?
No. I just joined this stream because it was live. I just wanted
you just saw a live stream.
I just want to see what the chat's all about.
Oh, okay. Well, we're all
3D
about
printing.
3D printing, CNCs, lasers. We're what we call makers, where we use 3D printers and stuff like that to come up with, to make stuff like we do cool stuff like this with lasers.
Ah, cool. That's pretty cool.
That's laser engraved on wood, or we 3D print stuff like this.
That's really cool. Is that Lara Croft?
Yep.
How long did that take to print?
There's multiple parts on this, so it took about 3 days in total.
3 days. Are you going to paint it? Are you going to paint it? Nah.
No, I'm not artistically inclined whatsoever. No.
It's actually really good. Is that a Fanta can?
It is, yeah,
That
but
is
it's
a
actually not a
3D
real
print
can.
of a
That's
Fanta
3D printed.
That's cool.
It's called a lithophane. So it looks weird on the outside, but when you put a light on the inside, it actually.
That's really cool. It's really cool.
So we do a lot of stuff like that, like the Mandalorian.
That's really cool, man.
That's on a 3D printer as well. Or the rockets over here.
Aye.
This is 3D printed.
Is that the Apollo 18 behind you?
That is Apollo. There's no Apollo 18. That's that is
Apollo 18 there. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's Apollo 11. That's a Saturn V.
Apollo 11. Aye. I have Apollo 18. What the fuck am I talking? Sorry. Who am I talking?
Yeah, and then there's we do stuff like this.
Oh, that's cool.
Prosthetic hands and stuff. We make.
So these do anything for like films or
some
like
of the guys do. Some of the guys do. They 3D print and build robots like this for movies.
Whoa, that's cool, mate. That's cool. What is that?
That's a droid. So it's actually remote controlled, and you can drive it around, and the head moves and the arms move and stuff like that.
How long would something like that take to actually build?
It takes a few weeks to print because there's
Few
a lot
weeks?
of pieces to it.
Well, it depends.
Electronics
I mean, I
and stuff as
printed
well.
mine in a couple days. It
pretty
really
cool.
depends.
Well, you've got a rat rig. That's why you printed it in a few days.
No, I didn't print that one on the rat rig. I did that across 4 printers.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't. I did it all in 2.
So how much does this cost, like, to actually do?
3D
Like an
printers are
average
expensive.
sort of print.
You
It's
can
a
get
range
well,
like anything else.
the
You know, you
material
can
is
start
cheap.
at a couple $100. You can go to a few $1,000s or more.
There's a big following. There's a lot of people in the UK are into 3D printing.
No.
It's there. Matt is right above you. In there's Matt. Matt is actually whereabouts? Are you based, Matt?
Stoke-on-Trent.
He's in Stoke-on-Trent, and Matt has as you see behind him, he's got a few printers behind him. So Matt does a lot of printing. He does a lot of the lithophanes, which he just showed you. I do a lot of mechanical stuff myself, but I also do printer reviews. Zolan, the furry creature down below here.
Amateur radio, drones, and anything 3D printing related to tie into them.
Yep. And
cool,
then
cool.
Jason is he does the robots. He does the mixture of everything and anything as well. And Shane and Jason's getting into doing some laser work. And Shane has the CNCs and printers. So we do it's a multitude of different things. We mix and match to get an outcome that we're looking for. So it's a bit of a mixed bag.
No, that's cool. It's definitely really cool, man. It's really cool.
So we do it. There's a lot, and like the only limitation really in this is your creativity.
Yay.
That's where your limit.
Exactly.
Your
The only limitation is your mind, really, isn't
Correct.
it?
Yep. Your own mind is the only area where he limits.
That's cool, man.
That and your import taxes.
Well, yeah, especially in the UK
and
right
your
now.
electricity bill.
That's the problem with in the UK. In the UK right now, your taxes are killing it, and your customs and so on is killing it for everybody. It's making it difficult to get materials right now. There was shortages, but it's starting to get more and more now. But someone's drinking Guinness. Good man.
Yes, I am.
I know the head of that anyway.
He spotted that a mile away there, didn't he? He sniffed that there.
As an Irishman, I know Guinness a mile out. But, so it's kind of fun. But there's no limit on what you can do. It's all down to your own creativity, you know.
It's just amazing, like technology, how far it's came. But you know, like user at the peak of like 3D printing. Can you just imagine what it's going to be like in the next 10 years?
Well, right now, I think we are at a big peak right now. 3D printing is about 30 years old, roughly, in total. The first printers were resin printers, and then people have moved to filament, and now they're 3D printing parts for rockets. SpaceX does it. A couple of others do 3D printing parts for the rockets, like engine bells and stuff that are 3D printed steel, right? So they're 3D printing homes today.
We have a full
chicken.
3D. We have a full 3D printed subdivision now in the US.
So it's happening. You can print a 3D printed house in the space of a week. You can 3D print a house.
That's mental. That's mental.
So people can move in within 3 weeks because you still have to do the roof and you have to do the doors, like the first and second fixings in the house and all this kind of stuff. So
it must be like handy for like just like small things, like is actually like broke or you know what I mean, like small parts.
I've repaired my lawnmower because I 3D printed the parts and I needed to fix it.
We have a baby gate here.
Brilliant.
We have a baby gate here that crosses the kitchen from the dining room for the dogs, and one of the brackets for it completely shattered, and I designed and 3D printed a whole new one for it.
That's amazing.
Also, all of my radio projects are customly designed cases that I printed myself.
Okay, there's a question for you there from one of our people who are watching saying, what drives you to join random live streams?
Well, I just search YouTube to see what's interesting, to be honest, like anybody else, you know. So I joined this stream because I thought it was interesting. So
cool. Well,
that's basically my answer.
That's a great answer because so Shane, what are you showing here? Let's bring you up full screen. 1 second, I'll bring you up full screen.
So a towel holder, they're about $30 at the local store. This is less than $1 worth of plastic.
To make it yourself.
Yeah. And I got I'll go grab the other thing.
I actually have soap trays that I 3D printed and still need to mount.
Yeah, we all do stuff.
Yeah, so we basically kind of something along those lines where
Oh, a hanging filament roller.
Yeah, that
Cool.
too.
Or towel rack.
So
So it's kind of,
Considering I use a toilet paper dispenser for my filament.
yeah. So we also do like I don't do a lot of this type of stuff.
See, I think that's cool. I think that's
I
really
don't
cool.
do a lot of these because this is resin printing. That's why the detail is so fine, and I don't do a lot of it. But I do printer reviews, so I print stuff like this for.
Would the resin be more expensive than normal printing?
Yeah, it's about twice the cost, and well, maybe three
And it
times the cost.
smells bad.
Yeah, but
What's that? What is that? What is?
That's another.
That's cool
That's
as well.
resin printed.
I like it. I like it. Is that get LEDs inside it?
No.
No.
Just a light.
He's got one.
Oh, right. Oh, cool. Cool.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't get too hot. Like for resin is more heat resistant than
Durable,
some
yeah.
than filament is.
Mm.
Than normal plastic is, but resin is messier to deal with. And you're dealing with chemicals, whereas normal plastic filament and so on, it's easier to print with, and you can be up and running within an hour of setting up your machine. So like, there's these resin printer there.
That's
But
cool.
You can be up and running within an hour on a resin printer.
Well, you can. You just be careful. And then when you do CNC, you can do stuff like this.
Oh, I like that.
That's engraved.
Is that like a wood effect? Is it actually
No,
wood?
That
is wood.
Engraved by a CNC.
So that's like a laser that's cutting in it.
No, it's a bit like a drill bit. It's,
Oh,
CNC
right,
is like a drill bit, and what it does is it cuts out the material, and that.
Oh, right.
What it does is in 3-dimensional, like that.
Oh, that's brilliant. Look at the detail on that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. I like it.
So that's part of what makers do. We use tools like that to come up with kind of cool ideas, and we fix stuff and we find alternatives for stuff. Like, I'm into telescopes, so I needed a way to mount my Raspberry Pi on my telescope because my Raspberry Pi drives my telescope. So this was 3D printed, and it's mechanical, so it actually attaches. You see here, it's sprung mount.
Aye. That's amazing, isn't it? That's amazing.
And my Pi sits right in here, and it attaches to my telescope.
How much do you think it would cost you to actually buy a part like that?
Or to buy that would probably cost you $20 or $30, and where I made it for maybe $5 less.
$2
That's brilliant.
yeah,
Brilliant,
less than that.
Maybe less. Well, if you include the bolts and the screws, they probably cost more than the plastic.
Yeah, but you probably had them.
Yeah, and I designed it so it's sprung mount.
Mm-hmm.
So when I put my Pi in there, the Pi gets locked in place, so I can actually release it as well. And then the fan for my Pi works here, and the ports for access to the Raspberry Pi is available here. So
that's cool, man. That's cool.
All right, I am out of here. I thought I was going to leave like 15 minutes ago. So
yeah.
I gotta jump off too.
I made you the offer. I can unbox it right here, the focus.
I don't get to troll John though if I don't.
Make sure you give him a hard time for us. Then.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Well, he's got 33 people there to troll him right now, including me.
Okay. All right. Talk to you later.
Take care, guys.
See you, Shane. Yeah, I got to jump off too. I got to go eat, and I got to finish tuning that thing up now that it's built. And I think I will troll John while I'm eating too.
Okay, yeah, give him a hard time for us.
Dropping like flies.
See you guys.
Take care. Yeah, so like a lot of us, we know each other because we're on streams all the time together.
Aye.
So when we jump on each other's streams, we give each other a hard time just because we can.
Seems like a cool community.
Yeah.
For the most part.
I like your like creative sort of mindset. I kind of like that. I like the fact that there's something that can be fixed, and usually the sort of guys that will fix it. You know what I mean?
And there's more than that as well. Like the maker community in general is really good at helping out. Like during COVID,
For the most part.
And for the most part, I agree. For the most part, I won't say everybody.
We have some pretty horrendous toxic elements in some parts of it.
That's just YouTube, innit? That's just YouTube for you, innit? That's the way it can be.
Actually, on YouTube, it's generally better.
Yeah.
It's when you look at like Twitter or Twitter or Facebook, it becomes nasty.
Some people, yeah.
I'm kind of like a journeyman, so I've seen some really, really bad communities. Really, really
But
bad communities.
I have more hobbies than anybody in their right mind should ever have.
Join
And
the
out of
club.
every community I have joined, the 3D printing community has been the best one.
Yeah, they are. They generally, most of the guys are good, and like we do, a lot of us do good for the community as well. Like as I said, most during the COVID stuff when the pandemic really hit, a lot of us stepped up and started making stuff for hospitals, for like the face shields and stuff for hospitals. So like where there wasn't equipment out there, we delivered thousands and thousands of face
I
shields.
printed over 1,500 face shields and donated them to local hospitals.
Yeah, I did.
Good
actually
on yous, man. Good on yous. Good on
I
yous.
did 10,000 because I had a lot more printers, and I
If
delivered.
I
them to
suddenly
local
disappear, I'm sorry. I just had a power flicker. We have a
Oh, okay.
thunderstorm moving through.
Oh, okay. But the other stuff we do is there's a big drive that's going on right now in the community is making toys for the underprivileged for Christmas.
Oh, aye.
And
Aye,
so
aye.
these are what I just made. All of these are individual toys.
What is that? Is that
They're,
beats?
to- they're toys for kids for
Oh, is that like wee figures? Like wee tiny figures?
yeah, minifigures. These are like chameleons. They're all in multiple different
Aye.
colors. And then you have other like bees and stuff like that, and penguins and little cars.
Oh, that's
and
cool, man.
Trains.
How long did that take you to do that?
About 10 weeks.
10 weeks. No, good on you, man. Good on you.
But a lot of us do that. Like Zoran is doing some, Jason is doing some. A lot of us do. The community is really good about stepping up and doing that kind of stuff.
That's it, man. That's it. You know what I mean? You've got
Hey,
to keep
Lama.
back. You know what I mean? Sometimes.
Well, that's the big thing about the maker community. They do that. That's why a lot of people get into that when they get into it because they want to be involved. They want to do
Aye.
stuff. And
Well, use it all. Use it all at a stage in life where you're creating things. But you can imagine, like when you were younger, like if somebody gave you something that was so cool, you know what I mean?
yeah,
It's,
but
and you can do that. You can actually do that. You know what I mean?
Well, yes, and it's about young people are like there's an awful lot of young people who are involved in the maker community.
Aye.
We have kids from the age of 8 or 9 years old who are involved.
Like just behind you right now, that could inspire a whole generation.
Well, I'm a science nerd, so
Mhm.
I'm like I do a lot of I actually do some stuff with NASA as well. I don't work for them, but I do community outreach. I do talks for NASA and so on in my area. Yeah, for an Irish guy talking for NASA, you imagine, right? So I do a lot of that kind of stuff, and I'm into astronomy and science and physics, and so this is why I have this right behind me. But a lot of other people do it just because they have a creative streak, or they're interested, they have a mechanical mind, and they're good at engineering or whatever, and they want to design stuff, and then they use it for prototyping. That's where it initially comes from, designing quick prototypes. And then later on making it out of metal. But eventually the materials got better and better. So now the materials can be used more and more practically. As I said, a lot of the stuff I do are mechanical parts.
Llama, he's not a nerd. He's too much of a geek to be one.
I'm a geek. I'm a nerd and a geek. I'm a mix.
So I will say behind you that is the Milky Way, but what is the other?
No, that's actually not the Milky Way. That is the Andromeda Galaxy.
Is that the Andromeda? That looks like the Milky Way.
No,
It really does.
yeah, that's the Andromeda Galaxy. And then on the other one over here is the Horsehead, the Running Man, and the Flame Nebula, which are all part of the Orion constellation, which is up right now in the sky.
Aye. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
So are these pictures? Is both of these pictures been took off a
telescope?
No, with telescope. It's the
Hubble?
with the
No.
Hubble. No.
No. These are amateur telescopes.
What is amateur? Were they actually amateur pictures?
Yeah, there's people like.
Wow, that's cool.
Like
that's cool.
Images like this are taken every single day.
Images like that can be took off your amateur telescope.
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive. That's impressive.
Yeah, like amateur astronomers do look. Amateur astronomers see more of the sky than the professionals do, and we're out there all the time with telescopes taking photographs, and some are in the photographs, some are just in the visual looking.
See, I think like professionals are kind of in one stage of the sky, whereas like amateurs are taking pictures all over the sky.
let's put it this way. When you go outside and you look up, you see a large area of the sky, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen the image called the Hubble Deep Field, where it shows an
No.
image of all these galaxies? No?
Oh no, yeah, I've seen that. I've seen
Right.
that.
The Hubble Deep Field. Now, I know you don't have. You're in the UK, but if you're in the US, if you get a penny, a US penny,
Mm-hmm.
on the face of a US penny, I don't have any on me right now to show you, but on the face of the US penny is Abraham Lincoln's head.
Yep, I get you.
And so if you hold a penny at arm's length and look at that penny, the eyeball in Abraham Lincoln's head on the penny at arm's length is the field of view that the Hubble can see.
Oh, that's mental. Is that true?
And that's it. Yeah.
So arms view.
And it's about the size of
Jesus, that's a really small distance, isn't it? That's a really small distance.
But you must remember, it's looking at an area of space. So the Hubble Deep Field is that small an area it's looking at. And that image came out of a guy put in a proposal saying, I want to look at an area where, he must have lost power. I want to look at an area where nobody has ever looked, where we see nothing, where we see blank sky. So the guys who control Hubble said, that's an interesting idea. Let's look at this spot. Because we've looked with other scopes and we see nothing there. And they pointed Hubble there and they looked at it for 2 weeks. And what they found was thousands of galaxies because they were staring at it for so long. And so before that, we knew there was galaxies out there, but we didn't really see how many. But by looking at that one spot, we saw the longer we look at an area, the more we see. And they found, you're muted, by the way, Matt. We found
that
thousands
guy,
of galaxies.
you making a Darth Vader impression.
Oh, yeah, move your microphone down a bit because you're breathing into it.
It's amazing. We could send up 5 billion, satellites and still never understand truly what's out there. You know what I mean?
So, by the way, move your microphone down because you're breathing into it.
Oh, sorry. There we go.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, you sound like Darth Vader. So, let's see who else is there. So it's a neek. That's right. I'm a neek, a nerdy geek. That's right. Or a girl.
See, I think that's people say like you're a geek because you're interested in a certain sort of thing that's happening. It doesn't wash with me. That, you know what I mean?
No, I'm okay with that. You know why? I'm proud to be a geek or a nerd. I'm into the science.
Remember, it's a geek to inherit the earth.
I'm into it, so I don't care. When I was growing up, I was always told that some people, if you're into science and stuff, you're always deemed weird, right?
Yes, that's exactly what I was brought up as well.
No, but for me, when people said I was weird, I would always say thank you. I don't want to be like you. I want to be into the science and stuff. So my answer was thank you. So
there's a wee saying that I've kind of enjoyed recently. Like, people go out and buy a pair of Gucci shoes to be different. You understand that? But the Gucci shoes are generic and they're made by the masses. But yet a person can be unique, and they're different. You cannot buy that. You know what I mean?
We're all like that now. So it's the difference that makes a community better, right?
Yep.
And that's the way we look at it. And it's the same for the maker community. There's a lot of variety. As I said, some of the guys are into radios, amateur radio. Some of them are into robots. Some of the guys are into RC stuff.
Yep.
Others are into mechanical. Like I'm a more mechanical stuff, but I do nerdy stuff as well. Some of the guys are into lithophanes. Like Matt does an awful lot for charities for lithophanes. Yep. He makes these lithophanes and then he gives them to charity and they auction them off. So we're all into doing a lot. Well, not all, but a lot of us are into doing that, and a lot of us use it for practical stuff because we see a need to do something, and we don't see a need to pay through the nose for it. The saying that I have for my channel is don't buy it, make it, right? And that's what we do. Why buy something when you can build it, when you can make it, design it and make it, and you can maybe even design it and make it a better product.
You know what I hate? See when you see people tossing out with televisions and things like that, where it's just like a chip that's blue. It really winds me up.
Well,
Just
yeah, but a
open it
lot of
up, get in behind it, and see what the problem is, and fix it. You know what I mean?
well, that's what we do as makers. We find creative solutions for stuff
And
to
that's it.
meet a need. So that's the cool thing about being a maker.
Yeah. Without
And not
makers,
everybody
you
wants to
wouldn't
be a
have
maker.
issues.
I can
Well,
treat it.
I'll ask you this question, right? As in makers, we ask like the question, "How are you a maker?" I think like the question is, it's just getting your hands dirty and just getting behind that, getting
Well,
something out and doing it. There's a lot of people out there who are too scared to do that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
In case they break it, it's
yeah. It's all
already
about finding a
broke.
solution.
Just give it a chance. Just get your hands dirty.
That's what we do.
You know what I mean?
We try stuff out. Like I got into 3D printing because of astronomy, because I wanted to make parts to go onto my telescope that were hard to find or they didn't meet my needs. Other people got into 3D printing for doing charity work or lithophanes. We know people who have gotten into 3D printing because they had PTSD and they heard about it and they got into 3D printing. And you know what? Being involved in the community of the maker community and making stuff and having a purpose helps people get over issues like that. So there's a big variety of people who have been involved in 3D printing, and it helps people in different ways. Like as people who have some traumatic issues, it helps with that. Helps people find creative solutions to stuff. It gives other people an outlet that they may not like. They could be very creative minded, and they might be good artists, but they're not really good at mixing paints, but they're good at sculpting. You can 3D sculpt on a computer and actually have your model so other people can print it. You can do mechanical parts like change the towel holders. Like I did the parts for my telescope and so on. It all varies depending on your individual needs, but you get into it for different reasons. But the outcome is you join into being part of a community, and all the community does is to try to help you. They give advice, they offer help.
Yeah.
Well, my printer's is not printing properly. Here's what's happening. People will chime in and give you answers online.
See, I think like the most creative have also got that sort of line between madness. So I think like if
I'm
a
a bit
person
crazy, so
can actually find what they enjoy fast, they won't be mad anymore. You know what I mean? The creative juices will flow
But it helps.
through whatever they enjoy. You know what I mean?
There's some of that. There's some of that in there as well. Yeah. So it's a mixture of stuff. But I said some people do it because they're mechanically minded. Some do it because they're creative. Some do it because they have a need and nobody else has a solution out there. So they said, "The hell with it, I'm going to do it myself," and they do. And so people get into it for various reasons like that, and it helps. And at the end, people get into it to help the community, right? Making stuff like making toys for
Like
kids.
I know you're a we'll say you're a geek guy, but I think the best question that mankind's ever asked, it was the Manhattan Project when they were obviously making nuclear weapons, but there was a famous scientist that asked the question, "Where are they?" And I think that question, we looked up to the sky and he said, "Where are, any other life? Where is other life out there?" And I think that's one of the best questions that a human being's ever asked.
Well, the Manhattan was different. The Manhattan, it wasn't about life elsewhere.
No,
What
I'm trying to say is they were making nuclear weapons, but this famous scientist
Hey,
asked the
Blasto.
question, "Where is life otherwise, on Earth? Because space is so vast."
Well, a lot of people have asked that question.
No, I know, but but you get the point. It's a good question. You know what I mean? It's
Well, and that question is constantly being asked, and there is no answer yet, but it's constantly being asked. We
talk about the mathematical sort of aspect of space. I mean, it's astronomical. We couldn't even think of it. We couldn't even think of how many zeros is on that.
I think you're referring to the Drake equation, is what you're referring to, which is the equation to calculate the possibility of intelligent life elsewhere. That's the Drake equation. And that has been revised many times, but even then, the numbers are real. The numbers are out there, and
It's not
pretty
just like the Drake equation. We're just talking about the vastness of space and what's actually out there, intelligent life or not. You know what I mean? Like, it's just absolutely mind-boggling what could actually be out there. You know what I mean?
Well, I would say the chances are high, right? In my lay opinion, the chances are high. Otherwise, as to take a line from a movie, which is from the movie Contact. If we are the only ones out there, it'd be a terrible waste of space, right? And that's a very true statement. And that's
But it's a possibility. It's a possibility. Can you
It's
imagine?
more than a
Could
possibility.
you imagine that though? I mean, we must be in. I mean, think of the odds of us being
Let me
the
put
only
it this way.
intelligent life in the whole
Let me
universe.
put it this way. Then. If you can imagine, 100 years ago, we thought we only knew of a few planets in our solar system.
Mhm.
We didn't even know there was other galaxies. We knew there was
Nope.
one, ours, right? And then Hubble came along, and then Hubble and his team figured out there was he found Andromeda,
Yep.
and he found out it's not a nebula, it's not a gas cloud, it's actually a galaxy, right? So he discovered, and then they started finding more and more galaxies. Then we figured out we found other planets around other stars, but barely. And then later on, we found we set up more and more telescopes. We started finding more planets around other stars, and then we put up the Kepler Space Telescope. Now we know of 5,000 planets around other stars today, right? And we're finding new ones every day.
But
Now,
even that number's so
but we're
so
only looking.
low.
Okay, here's another thing: Milky Way galaxy. Imagine it like a pancake, right? And we're a blueberry in the pancake. Okay, when we look around, all we see is batter around us, which is other stars, right?
Mhm.
But when we look out beyond the Milky Way, we see above and below the Milky Way. We can't see what's to each side of it in any direction. So we can only see about 80% of the sky. And even in the Milky Way alone, we have found thousands of planets around stars, and we're still searching. And that's only in one area of sky. I would say the area of sky that we found them in is about no bigger than
1%.
the tip of your finger, the nail on of your pinky finger, at arm's length away. That's all we found planets in, right? We confirmed planets. So we've seen
There's a
so
map.
little.
There's a map. It's like the background radiation map, and
Oh, that's okay. That's
when
different.
it's completely empty. I mean, that's interesting as well, isn't it? That's quite interesting.
Yeah, well, you're talking about the cosmic background radiation map.
Yeah.
That's only the leftover heat from when the universe.
Aye, for the Big Bang, for
Yeah,
everything that
but that's
came
nothing to
that
do
went
with
on.
planets, though.
So
Planets
that means that maybe that spot was a spot where actually nothing happened. You know, actually nothing happened at all.
It's just no. That's only leftover radiation that's still cooling.
That's crazy, isn't it?
And the reason why we see the still cooling is because it's so far away. Because at the speed of light, it takes time for us to see those images.
Right. I think for our own sun, it takes like what 7 minutes before the sun penetrates our surface.
Well, for the light to reach from the sun to reach us is 8.2 minutes.
8.2 minutes.
8.2 minutes is what it takes for the light from the sun to reach us. Like the moon is 2 seconds away. Like Jupiter is 40 minutes away. Saturn is 80 minutes away. Pluto is 6 hours away.
It's always amazed me, like just turning on a light switch, how instantaneous that is.
The nearest,
but how slow it is when it
instantaneous.
comes to space.
It's not instantaneous because it's traveling at 186,000 miles a second.
I know, but in our brains, it's so fast.
Oh yeah.
You know?
So we see everything when you're looking into space. Everything you see is back in time. So you're looking at the moon, what it used to look like 2 minutes ago or 2 seconds ago. The sun, what it used to look like just over 8 minutes ago. When you're looking at Jupiter, you're looking back at what it used to look like 40 minutes ago. Pluto, what it used to look like 5 hours ago or 6 hours ago.
That's mental.
So everything is and because it takes time for light. Like the nearest star to us is you can't see that where we are in the northern hemisphere. It's the southern hemisphere. It's called Proxima Centauri. When you
Yep.
look at Proxima Centauri, you're looking back 3.5 years in time, because it takes 3.5 years for its light from Proxima Centauri to reach Earth, or 3.2 years, because it's 3.2 light years away from us. So everything
It's,
we should look at, and the further away it is, the further back in time we're looking at.
Mhm.
As an example, here's something that really warped our mind. If you could build a mirror, a really big mirror, and put it 40 light years out into space, right,
and face it back at us.
and face it towards Earth, and then point a telescope at that, and wait 40 years.
We would just be
No.
foaming.
We would be looking back 80 years into the past. So we would see what Earth used to look like 80 years ago, because the light from Earth would not have reached there yet. And then so it's 40 years for the light to reach that mirror, and then 40 years to come back for us to see it. So we're actually looking back in time 80 years at Earth, what it used to look like 80 years ago, because we're seeing it in the past, because of the time it takes for light to travel.
Mental, innit? It's mental. It's mental.
So yeah, so everything you look
Do
at.
you
is
think
mental.
that there will ever be a time in like humanity's sort of existence where we could actually reach light speed sort of technology?
We can't reach light speed, and there's a
I think I read something that we've actually got the technology, but we just need the the elements to.
No, we don't
Yeah,
have the
so the-
technology to move at the speed of light. We cannot do it because we have mass.
Yeah.
We are made of matter.
We maybe
because
can
we're made
get
of matter.
3%, like a third we can achieve maybe.
We can
Close
reach about.
to.
We can get more. Okay, here's the issue.
Well, I'm going to ask you about that. Do you think it's possible?
Jerry.
Do you think there'll be a time in human existence where we can bend, time round
Well,
about us?
no, we don't have to. We have some theories of instead of actually changing us to be able to travel at that speed. One of the present theories, or one of the strongest present theories, is we create. Star Trek. We create a warp bubble around
changing life about us. It's
Well,
like
no. What we do is we encase ourselves in a warp bubble, and then the warp bubble can move at the speed of light because it has no mass.
Well, what I'm going to ask you next, like, if humanity has created that means it's already been created in the future. So, which means that technology is always been present through humanity, and we're also using that as we speak. And I think that's a very interesting thing. That comes back to, sort of the equation where, it's.
It all
You know what I'm
started
saying,
with stick and stones.
It's sort of like different dimensions and things like that. You know what I mean? Because
Well, it depends on who you believe. Right now, let me answer Deeds first of all. Deeds, I have no experience with Clipper myself. Jason, who was on earlier, does know Clipper a fair bit. So I would check with Jason, or who else? Who else do you know that knows Clipper, Jerry?
I don't.
Liam.
I don't know Clipper. No, I don't know.
James Honey Badger.
Oh, James Honeybadger, yeah, he knows it in the UK. So I don't know Clipper. I haven't used it yet, but so I wouldn't be able to answer your question. I haven't played with it at all. I'm sorry. So back to your question, dimensions. We know of 4 dimensions today for sure.
Yep.
Right. So we know our 4 dimensions, right? Up, down, left. So we have our normal dimensions, and then
Up, down, left, right.
Well, it's height,
And
width,
in front.
height, width, and depth are our dimensions, and
Yep.
the 4th one would be time.
Yep. Time
Because
itself.
time is a vector in mathematics, so it's a dimension, right? So if you believe in
No, it's not that I'm believing. It's like Einstein's theory was that it was actually possible for
unlimited dimensions.
Yes,
Correct.
exactly.
But string theory doesn't agree with that. String theory says there's up to a maximum. There's in string theory they believe you can go up as far as 10 dimensions, but there's possibilities of more.
22.
Maybe that's a very wild out there. There's no
22
supporting math.
dimensions. That
But
is mental.
There's no supporting math to support that yet. But they have the math that says up to 10.
Math supports even there's a God part. I mean,
The God
Well,
particle. The thing like I don't know about yourselves. I've not really had any interest in it. I've not really read on it. But the God particle in Geneva, where we spent so much cash as humanity to smash these particles together. What did we learn for that? What did we actually learn for that?
You're referring to the Large Hadron Collider.
Yep.
And the LHC, it actually goes across 3 countries.
Yep.
It's so big, but the particle you're referring to is the Higgs boson.
What did the particle? What did we learn for that particle, though?
We learned how we have learned from that particle how atoms have mass.
No, but we've always known that atoms smash together.
We know you have mass, but we don't know why. Now that we found the Higgs particle, the Higgs boson, now we know why you have mass.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because our atomic structure interacts with the Higgs field, and that gives us mass. Photons, like light, has no mass because it does not interact with the Higgs field. And because it does not interact with the Higgs field, it can move at the speed of light. We can't because we interact with the Higgs field, and that basically slows us down and gives us mass.
Yep.
An easy description of what the Higgs field does. Imagine a room, a banquet hall, filled with women. Right? They're all there to see George Clooney. He's coming to talk to them. And you're a waiter going in and out and serving tables. Right? That's what you're doing, going in and out serving tables. And you walk in and out and you're not interacting with anybody. You're a photon of light. You're interacting with nobody because the ladies in that room act as a Higgs field. Right? And you're not interacting with them whatsoever.
You're talking about neurons and neutrons, interacting with each other.
Not protons and neutrons. We're even going below that again. We're going to quarks and all
below that, like a smaller structure.
Subatomic particles, yeah. So you're talking about quarks and all this.
Quantum sort of.
Inside the quantum realm is what we're talking about, right?
Right. So you're talking about that kind of could be other dimensions as well, can it?
No, it's not. No, it's not outer dimension. No, but so. You walk into a room and you're going in and out. You're not interacting with anyone. You're a photon of light because you're not interacting with the ladies in the room.
Right.
So George Clooney walks along and comes into the room. Now, what's the first thing that happens as George walking in at one speed, and as he walks in, people get up and start greeting him, right?
So George Clooney's like a nucleus walking into this room.
Well, he's like an atom.
And they're kind of like vibrating next to him.
Well, not even vibrating next to him, but he's walking through this room of the field of the women, right? What's happening to his motion? It's slowing down, right? He's going to walk slower and slower as more and more people come up and say hi to him, right? So he's interacting with the ladies around her. So he's like an atom interacting with the Higgs field, and so he has mass because he interacts with them. Whereas we, as waiters, go in and out. We're not talking to the people. We're just going to the table, dropping stuff off, picking stuff up, and walking out.
So the waiters are still kind of doing their own thing, still walking about left, right, up, down,
so we're the photons,
back, up.
Yeah, we're the photons, and we're not interacting. So therefore, we can move at the speed of light. Whereas George Clooney interacts with the Higgs field, it slows him down, it gives him mass, and because it gives him mass, he can't move at the speed of light because the field is slowing him down.
Yep.
It's interacting with him. So that's probably the guy who came up with that scenario, who described it like that, actually won an award for that. He was a student, and he came up with that explanation of what the Higgs field is.
No, but see, I understand that. That's kind of, I don't understand if anybody else understands that, but that's kind of basic to me.
Well, if you understand physics, yeah.
Don't put it as basic, right? But what I'm trying to say is the God particle is what I'm saying to you. But we say that's I understand what you said, but the God particle is meant to be the sort of thing that the Big Bang completely,
Well, no, we still don't know.
Well, we're not talking about Big Bang, but we're talking about like it's meant to be that particle where it started life. It's a building block of our existence.
Well, no, it didn't. Okay. If you go all the way back to the beginning of the universe, just before the Big Bang, we know what happens just before. We don't know exactly what happened at the Big Bang. We can go right up to it, right? And we don't know what happened beforehand because we can't go beyond that, right? We go by what we can see. And what we know is the universe was first created. When the Big Bang happened, there was an immediate expansion of space and time. And that immediate expansion filled the universe with matter. Or sorry, with energy. Super hot energy.
Yep.
And as that energy cooled, because at really high temperatures, molecules can't form. Atoms can't form. You can't get protons, neutrons, electrons. They will not happen. So as the universe cooled, and as it gets slowly cooled down, what happened was, and it's still expanding, right? But it slowly was cooling. As it started cooling, basic particles started coming together, like electrons, like protons, and so on. And that's when hydrogen gas was first created, because that's the most basic element, right? And hydrogen gas started coming together through its own electromagnetic forces, being electromagnetic attraction, like magnets, right? Started getting put together because you have charges, positive, negative charges, and it started coming together. And then as more and more, and when enough it comes together, just statically attract to each other, right? Now it has mass because there's enough of it together, a big enough mass that it creates a gravity well and starts pulling in other material. And as that happens, you get more and more of it, and then you get stars forming, right?
Yep.
And when a star forms, all the dust, because a star forms in a spinning motion, right? Like our sun spins, and because that's the inertial movement of the universe. And as that forms, all the dust and patterns and so on around the star start spinning around with it.
It creates energy. It's like a standard. If you put some sort of static energy in the sea, it's going to create that energy. That's the sort of basic form as a star. Isn't it? It's like you've got to.
Really.
It's like a supercharged sort of particles that.
Not even no. The electromagnetic forces are some of the weakest forces, but when there's enough close by, they will bond. They will stick to each other. They'll come together. They'll be like you get a comb, and you statically charge a comb. You can pick up pieces of paper. You did it in school, right?
Liam,
same type of thing.
I need to go. I'm really tired right now. So...
Okay, well the rocket launch is in 13 minutes.
All right.
I'll
have a look out in bed. Good night, everybody.
All right, take care. If anybody else wants to come in and join, the link is there in chat. If you want to come in and join the conversation, you're welcome. There is a SpaceX launch happening in a few minutes, and just under 13 minutes. I will show my screen when it actually happens, but let me just maximize my screen. So there is a launch going to the space station in the next few minutes. So if anyone wants to come in and join the chat, feel free to do so. We still have 4 people on, so if you do want to stick around, let me know. If you want to wind it up, we can do that also. Just let me know. We've been going for almost 2 hours already, so. But that launch is it's just after the top of the hour. So, I think a lot of people jumped over to Tripod Stream because he's giving away a printer.
Right, what rocket's going in 30 minutes?
The Falcon 9 SpaceX is launching. It's going to bring crew to the space station. There's 4 crew on board, so it's bringing people because the Crew 2 capsule came back yesterday.
I seen that.
And Crew 3 is being launched right now, so they're actually in the rocket. They've been in the rocket for the last 2.5 hours already, and they'll be launching very shortly.
Crazy, isn't it?
Well, they launched. SpaceX does a lot of launches.
It's a thing that I haven't seen it in the sky, but it's the SpaceX that was with the satellites in the sky.
Oh, you're talking about Starlink satellites.
Starlink. Yeah. I mean, that's just. I mean, for humanity wise, that's just.
I've seen them.
It's absolutely crazy, isn't it?
I've seen them. Yeah, I've seen them.
No, I haven't seen them. I know there's a lot of people that have seen them, but
I have actually tracked the International Space Station and the rocket carrying people as they move through the sky together when one is catching up with the other.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
So what sort of satellite are you using anyway? What sort of satellite? No satellite. You know what I'm saying? No satellite on this one.
For tracking?
No. I've completely the names went in my head. What satellite? Scope.
Oh no, you can see them naked eye. You
Oh,
can see the
naked eye.
space station with your naked eye. You do not need a telescope for that.
A telescope. That's the word that
yeah.
completely just left my mind there.
Yeah, you don't need a telescope to see the space station.
That's
You
amazing.
can
Isn't
see
it?
that with your eye as it flies over. It's a super bright dot, especially just after sunset. It's really, really bright.
So what do you think that's going to do for like space junk in the future, like for humanity?
Which one?
Like no, just like any satellites are flying about up there. You know what I mean? There's so many now.
Most satellites nowadays are designed so they can be deorbited, so they can actually when they're in their life, they can actually bring it back into our atmosphere and they burn up in our atmosphere, or at least most of it does. Over time, SpaceX are designing their new rocket, the Starship, will be completely 100% reusable. There'll be nothing left behind. It'll go to space, and then whatever goes up will come back down.
Oh, that's cool. Do you think we'll get to a point in our lives where we'll actually get to another planet?
We'll be on Mars within 10 years.
Do you think so?
Oh, I know so.
Do you think there's a good purpose why we might go there? I know that there may be some sort of elements there, or maybe something.
Well, let's put it this way: the surface of our planet has been eroded by atmosphere and rain and all this kind of stuff, right? Seismic activity. But on Mars, we can learn a lot about Earth's history because it's our neighboring planet, right? So we were formed around the same time. We know we have a good idea how Earth was formed, but we can learn more from Mars that's been sitting there untouched.
See, the thing that interests me is Mars was once in the Goldilocks. It had its time in the sun, so to speak, didn't it?
Eventually, it will again, because as the sun gets older, it gives off more energy.
That's true.
Earth becomes harder to live on. But Mars will be easier to live on at that point because it'll be warmer out there. So at some point in the past, we believe Mars used to have, like, we can see by looking at Mars that it used to have water.
So do you think do you think that's why we're so interested in back there? Because one day it might actually be getting its time back in the sun, so to speak.
That's Elon Musk's view, right? But and that's his whole thing, is to be multiplanetary for the human race, for protection. But scientifically, we can learn a lot from it.
Yep.
And you must also remember, if we can look at Mars and see it used to have life in the past.
Do you think so?
Well, I'm not saying we believe it may have.
It's all about like a micro sort of environment.
It used to have water. We used to have liquid.
I don't know, but I think we used to say like water was the essential building blocks for life.
And we still
but there could be a possibility that it had water and it didn't have any life. You know what I mean?
It's possible, but at least we know it has water, or had water. We believe it still has water under the surface, right? So we believe there's water still on the planet. So what the goal is to learn about Mars, because it'll tell us about our past. And if we do find ancient life even on Mars, if we can look back and see ancient life on Mars, that there was ancient life out there, right, in the past, like we find fossils or something, whatever, fossilized microbes or whatever, if we see that has taken our knowledge of life on other planets from 1 to 2. That's double the chances of life existing. And if it's going to exist there, what's saying it can't exist anywhere else?
So I totally agree with you.
That's all.
But I don't think. I think you're more. I don't really think there's any life in our solar system. I don't think there's any life in our solar system.
No, I think okay. Let me give you an example then. Let me go through this math with you. I'm not going to explain the math. It's only simple percentages, right? If you take in the Milky Way galaxy alone, there's billions of stars, right?
Yep.
So if you take 1% of those stars and imagine that's the right type of star that could potentially support life, that could be like our sun, right?
Yep.
Now we know that's not really a good criteria, but I'm just narrowing it down to one type of star. And then you take 1% of those stars that are the right type, that has possibilities of planets.
Yep.
And 1% of those have planets that are rocky planets.
Mhm.
And 1% of those rocky planets, like that's out there, are in what we call the Goldilocks zone.
Yep.
And 1% of those, again, have water of some form.
Mhm.
And 1% of those, again, that has water of some form, has liquid water.
Mhm.
And 1% of those, again, that has liquid water, has some basic life like amoebas and whatever, right? Bacteria. And 1% of those, again, has basic plant life. And 1% of those, again, has even more advanced plant life, has small animal life. And 1% of those, again, has larger animal life. And 1% of those, again, has the possibility of having humanoids, like primates or whatever. And 1% of those, again, has intelligent life. There's still, in the Milky Way alone, there's still hundreds of thousands of planets out there with intelligent life.
Yep. Hundreds of billions of trillions.
Well, it's not hundreds of thousands, because we can 1% of a percent of a percent.
Yeah, well,
It really minimizes the number down.
1%.
But even then,
There's still a possibility. I totally understand
so
what
if
you're
you
saying.
think of it that way, the possibilities are high, and it would be.
And that's only your galaxy.
Everybody's left us. It's just you and us chatting, but it's okay. I'm going to go on to show the SpaceX launch because they're launching in 3 minutes. So let me share the screen.
Put on.
I'm going to put up here and video up here on screen so we can see.
No problem.
So this is the crew. There's 4 of them there.
Could you imagine actually doing that? It must be so exciting.
I'll be there tomorrow.
It must be so exciting.
I'll be there tomorrow, and these guys are sitting in that little thing up there.
I like the new spacesuits as well. They're definitely futuristic, aren't they?
The space, yeah. So those guys you saw are sitting in that tiny little area right there.
I'd love to do it. I would love to do that.
All of this is fuel. The bottom part, the white part, is stage 1.
So there's fuel coming for the actual sides of the rocket?
Well, that's liquid oxygen. What happens is as oxygen warms up, it expands, and they need to vent it out because they store it at cryogenic temperature, so there's more of it in there, right? So they need to store it at super cold temperatures as a liquid form, and then as it expands, they have to vent it out of it because if they don't vent it out, the tanks will explode because of the pressure. So they maintain
oxygen's highly flammable in it as well.
Well, liquid oxygen it's LOX is what it is, liquid oxygen, and it's the RP1 is a type of purified kerosene, highly purified.
So how does this rocket work? Does it actually split into parts, or does it go up in
It divides into 3 pieces. So the bottom.
So every part comes back into the atmosphere.
The bottom
intact?
white part, the very bottom part, the biggest, longest white part at the bottom. I'll show you in a minute to show a wide view. That which I can show you here. This part here, bottom white part, returns back, and they actually reuse that. That's the most expensive part. The top section white part, above the black area, which is in this image is this part here where it says NASA. That's stage 2. That gets discarded in orbit and over time falls back into our atmosphere. And this piece is the piece. This is a piece here on top. Or sorry, this is the NASA part. This piece here on top and this piece, these 2 go to the space station. So this part here opens up to the nose cone, and this nose cone is what docks to the space station.
Oh, that's cool, man.
The new Starship is going to be 100% reusable. Nothing gets left behind. It all goes to space and it all comes back. So that's the new one he's designing right now. So this has got a minute to launch. They'll be entering countdown any moment now.
Yeah, I would love to do that. I would love to do that.
Oh, I've seen them. I've seen launches. The nice thing about living in the States is you can go down to Florida and watch these happen all the time.
Oh, have you actually been? Have you been to see them?
I've been to a few launches, yeah.
Well, that's cool, man.
So the crew are actually living in this area here. That's where they are right now. And they'll be on there. It'll be sometime in tomorrow when they'll get on board the space station. So this is a cargo area. This all this black and white area right here. That's cargo.
So do you actually think that rocket ship's got enough fuel in it to, well, no fuel, but do you think it could get to actual Mars?
This one will not do it.
No,
No.
not that one. But do you think in humanity-wise, we're at that point, or do you think we're 10-year?
Oh no,
from
we'll be
getting
in. Not, the other rocket he's building right now will get us to Mars.
Mm.
That's what he's designing it for. It's way bigger than this thing. Way bigger. It's the biggest rocket ever built.
I mean, how big's it going to be?
It can take about if they wanted to crew it out with people,
Mhm.
they could put 100 people on board and bring them into space in one go. This
Because
can take 4.
I think
The new
that
one-
that
Oh,
that
now, here we
rocket.
go.
Oh,
Here
there
we
we
go.
go. There we go. There we go. Look at that, man. Eh?
Yeah, so they'll zoom out too far off. So I've seen these type of views. I have a buddy of mine who's down there right now who takes photographs of the launches.
Oh, that's cool, isn't it?
Yeah. So, that's the view if you're at Kennedy Space Center right now.
Look at all scale up.
Oh yeah. So
500 mile per hour.
Oh, that's kilometers.
Or kilometers per hour.
Yeah, well, they need to reach 17,500 kilometers per hour to get into orbit. So they're throttling down because they're meeting maximum pressure of our atmosphere called XQ, and that's their video. But that will go away once they reach a certain height. They'll throttle back up again. So they're about to hit Max Q any moment now, and they're probably coming out of it. There we are, Mach 1.
There we go. Mach 1.
Mach 1. That's the speed of sound. So this rocket, there's Max Q. Now they'll throttle back up again, because they can vary the engines because there's liquid engines, they're not solid engines. There's a bit of cloud there, and as you get higher in the atmosphere, you'll see the flame get wider and wider and wider because there's less atmosphere. See it widening out?
Yep.
There's less air pressure.
There we go. It's widening it now.
Yeah.
So they're technically in the cusp of space right now?
No, they're not in space yet. Their altitude
no, but in the cusp bit?
No, they're only 29 kilometers. They have to be 100 kilometers up to be on
100.
Space. Yeah. Okay, so they're starting to chill the MVAC engines. So they're going to be stage 1 is almost done, and they'll be separating soon. And stage 2 will be kicking in. So stage 1 engine will be shutting down, and they'll separate. And then stage 2, which is the MVAC engines, which is the vacuum engines, will ignite. So we'll see them separate here any moment now. You're watching, Matt. Okay, you can jump back on. So here's stage separation is about to happen. So this is the top of stage 1, and you're looking at what you see above you here. This is the engine bell of stage 2 that will ignite in a while. So there's separation. There's the engine. So that now it's igniting. See here, it's igniting. There you go.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing.
And now this is going to push them into the altitude they need to be in space. In space.
Look at that! Look at that! Look how that's burning.
Yeah, well, that's shutting down now. Now it's actually putting out its grid, and this is actually it's black and white here because it's night vision is enabled, and you can see the grid fins will get hot. These steer it as it comes back down to land. So stage 2 is fired up. We're good. Now it's doing 7,000 kilometers per hour. So they're now in space because they're at 135 kilometers up. So that's why the MVAC engine kicks in. You need to be in vacuum in space for that engine to be ignited. So they'll reach about 14,000 kilometers an hour, maybe 15, before stage 1 shuts down. So they're accelerating faster now because there's no atmosphere to push through. So I have the audio turned off because YouTube will ding me for having audio enabled. So let's see, 8,500. So we're going to get faster and faster now. You can see a star in the background. You see it over here?
Seen it.
So that could be the moon. Because the moon is actually is in the east, and is in the west, and they're going east. Do you know why we launch to the east always?
Why's that?
Earth's rotation. The Earth spins from west to east. So if we launch the other way,
Actually, that's you're right. You're right.
Yeah. So because we spin from west to east, if we wanted to launch to the west, we have to overcome Earth rotation.
You need to go completely different. Definitely, aye.
But if you go with Earth, the Earth is actually giving us 1,000 miles an hour head start, speed, kick into space. So it's the easiest way to get there. We have to go the other way. You have to fight Earth's rotation and speed.
And it would cost you more fuel as well.
An awful lot more in fuel.
Oh, definitely.
So we always launch east to west or north south. We never launch to the west side because of those issues. So 11,000 kilometers is our velocity. So we'll be entering stable orbit in 5 minutes or so. See, nice comfortable ride. Look at the guys, nice and relaxed. They're hitting about 3 Gs right now. That's what they feel, about 3 Gs. 3 times the gravity that you'd feel on Earth. But they're nice and relaxed and enjoying the ride, because this is all automated, so they have nothing to do. The machine, the ship does it all for them. It's all auto drive. They have nothing to do on board. They check some stuff, they validate, they do checks with the land.
They're just really there for the ride, aren't they?
In the old craft, they had a lot of work to do. In SpaceX, they sit there and go for the ride. It's fully autonomous. So we're almost at 200 kilometers up. So to reach the space station is 350 kilometers up. No, 350 miles, is it? Or kilometers? Let me verify.
Kilometers.
I think it's kilometers, yeah. In kilometers, that's 250 miles. It's 400 kilometers.
400 miles.
Yeah, so we're about, but they won't go that high in this. They'll go a bit higher than they are. Maybe 250 or so. Okay, now landing. There's the first landing burn ignited. So actually, sorry, that's an entry burn. That's slowing down the rocket as it comes through the atmosphere. This one over here, they're slowing it down.
That's amazing.
If they don't slow it down, it'll just be too fast. They won't be able to stop it. So they partly slow it down, and then as it gets near, it's over the landing area. It fires the engines again and then lands. But so this will last about a minute, and then they'll shut it down, and then there it goes. And then they'll bring it in a minute again. They'll reignite the engine in this one, to land on the platform out in the ocean. It's basically a barge, big open flat barge, what they land on. So we're 22,000, almost 23,000 kilometers per hour. Okay. Yeah, they need to reach. I'm guessing they're going to hit around 28 to 30,000. Oh, there they are. Cut off. Almost 28. I was right. So now they're in coasting phase to verify that they're in the right distance. And there's a landing burn. Here we go. It's going to land on the drone ship. So the deployment legs will come out any moment. It's landing out in the middle of the ocean. Out in the Atlantic. There's the drone ship.
Oh, that's absolutely crazy.
Watch, wait for it. Nailed it.
No way, man.
No, it cuts out. It'll come back in a second.
That's
They-
just creepy. That's
they
just
do it-
creepy. That's
do it-
creepy.
They do it all the time. They do it all the time. Yeah. So let's see if they go back to the drone ship and show it sitting there on the drone ship, which they probably will. So it landed here out in the middle of the ocean.
That's fantastic.
Stage 1 is on that one out there. I think it's on Courses to Love You, is the ship it landed on. And this is where they are. Okay, they're waiting. This they're downlink from the drone, from the pontoon where they land. They're waiting for that to come back. There's the guys on board. Now they are weightless. See the thing floating?
Yep.
They're weightless now. So what will happen in a while is they'll stabilize their orbit, and the guys will get ready for a nap, and then sometime in the early morning, sometime tomorrow, they will dock with the space station. Well, yeah, it looks like
It must be some experience, that. Eh?
Oh, I'd love to do it. I would love to do it. So the guys have not much to do. You just sit there, and what's going to happen is in a while they will, once everything's in their stable orbit, the guys will totally get out of their suits, go for a sleep, get something to eat, go for a sleep, and then they'll spin around the Earth a couple of times, like every 90 minutes to go around the planet. And after a few times around the planet, by sometime tomorrow, they will get their suits back on and they will dock with a space station. Oh, they have the camera outside. Nice. Camera out the window.
No, that's cool, man.
That's super cool. Now you know why I like space and science.
Space has always been interesting, but I think humanity's getting to the point where it's getting really exciting, isn't it? It's getting really exciting.
Well, we got really big. We got really fantastic and very excited. And then there was a lull. And then we started with a shuttle program and got really excited. And then the shuttle program kind of died off and went away. And there was a big lull. And now there's private space industry, which is pushing those boundaries.
Yep. I think that's what they need. I think you needed that private sector to actually just push it.
There is the cargo area being dropped. They don't need that anymore.
That's brilliant, man. Brilliant.
So that will eventually fall through our atmosphere and burn up. Now it's just the.
So is that made with like a sort of lightweight material, so it burns up?
Oh yeah. It's made out of material. It's a carbon fiber type of material. So it's made really strong, but in the heat of our atmosphere, as it enters our atmosphere,
just burn up.
It'll burn up because it's about 3,000 degrees. Yeah, you're a STEM girl, Louise. Yeah, I'm not a STEM girl, but yeah, I'm a STEM boy. So the guys are happy. Look, they're all waving at the camera. They're now in orbit of our planet, and they're moving at in miles per hour. They're moving at about 17,000 miles an hour. Oh, he dropped. We lost him. So for those who joined in, who just came on, we've been watching the SpaceX launch. It was really cool. And they're already in orbit. They're 13 and a half minutes into their flight already. And they're in orbit. And it's been really good. It was a really clean launch, no problems. And the 4 crew are on their way to the space station. So I would give almost anything to be on that. So what he's seeing him doing there is he's going over his procedures of checks and so on to validate everything is good. And he's talking with NASA or he's talking with SpaceX, not NASA. And he's talking with SpaceX mostly. And they would do some chats with NASA to confirm data uplinks and all this kind of stuff. But they're going through their checklists to validate everything is good on board. But you see they have their 0G indicator. Looks like a little turtle. And he's just floating around there. So they're now in microgravity in orbit. Guys, if you want to come in and chat, there is a link there in chat. I'll just post it again. If anyone wants to come in and chat, we can do a chat for a while. If anyone does. We had somebody on, he just dropped off, but I can have a few people in here if you want to come in have a talk about making or NASA or science and space, but we also talk about 3D printers and CNCs and lasers because we're all into that in this group. So yeah, I have it on mute because the audio I'll get dinged on. Guys, does anybody else not agree with me? Does he or does he not look like Clark Kent, like Superman? The very first, and he's super tall as well. He's like Christopher Reeve. He's really tall. He reminds me of Christopher Reeve. Oh, Matt says he's going to join Louise. Okay, well, Matt, he's always welcome. Others who are out there, if you want to come in and join the conversation, you're welcome. We were just watching the SpaceX launch, and we're watching and a guy who works for NASA, but I really think he's Superman because he looks like Christopher Reeve out of Superman. And Louise agrees with me. Yeah, he does. He looks very like him. But yeah, he's with the media guy, the media team, I believe, and with NASA. So we have 4 people still hanging on. So I think there's not going to be an awful lot much more going on with these guys. I might stick it on for a small bit more. I can't remember her name. She's an astronaut. I can't remember her name. Her name's escaping me. She was on one of the crews recently. And he runs the ISS program for European Space Agency.
They were on shelving.
Hey, mute.
Yeah, hold on.
Mute your NASA feed. So yeah, so we have some astronauts from US, Europe, and I think I can't remember what other country we have. There's a couple of countries on board right now. One thing go ahead.
I just seen that you were alone, so I just said I'm gonna come back on.
People can come in. Like we have a couple of people watching right now, and the chat is open. If anyone wants to come in and talk with us, you're welcome to do so.
Sorry, I had to take off my video for a second because my future son, stepson, just walked by.
Okay. So if anyone wants to come in and chat, I just posted a link. You're free to do so. As I said, it's pretty open here. If you haven't already done, like and subscribe to the channel, do so. We are pretty open. We are easy to get on with most of the time. Everybody but Matt. Matt's the quiet one. Nobody gets along with him.
Oh, thank you, Liam.
You know I don't mean that. So
you do mean it. I know that.
So do you agree, Matt? Does he look like Christopher Reeve?
A little bit, yeah.
Hey again.
A bit.
So what do you think? You might be. What's your input?
Kicked off there.
Do you think this good guy looks like Christopher Reeve?
He actually does, didn't he?
Yeah, he works with NASA.
A young one.
Yeah, he looks like Christopher Reeve though. He looks very like him. And he's as tall as him too. He's about 6'3", 6'4". He's really tall.
He's absolute double.
He's very like a young version of him. He is, yeah. So, can you kill your audio there, Matt? Because it comes out over the.
I did. Sorry.
All right.
Better now?
Yeah, it's just that if it comes up, YouTube will ding me.
Yeah, sorry, my phone just went off.
Okay, no problem. But so they won't dock with the space station. I think they're docking sometime tomorrow afternoon, which we can watch live. Let me see. Crew 3 ISS.
So what is their mission anyway? What's their mission?
They go to the space station to do science. Then some of them are up. Some of them will do spacewalks. So they're docking with the Harmony unit in the front of the space station. Hey, Audra, how are you? Yeah, I always liked him. I always liked Christopher Reeve as Superman. The new guy is good too, but I always liked the original.
Was that Henry Cavill in it?
That's the new guy, isn't it?
Aye, he's all right. He's all right.
Yeah, the old guy though, Christopher Reeve. I love him.
Christopher Reeves. He was Superman, wasn't he? He was
He was
Superman.
he made Superman. Yeah,
Aye, he was
he really
Superman.
made the part. Yeah,
Aye. It's so
So-
sad what happened to him though.
fell off a horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're going to dock. I believe this will be verified. I believe they're docking tomorrow morning. So they'll sleep now. Yeah, actually, no. Briefing. Let me see.
So how long are
Yeah.
they going to stay in the space station?
They'll be up there for 6 months.
6 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
At a time, every astronaut spends 6 months on the space station. Some spend a little longer. We've had some that spent a year there. Actually, we have one guy on board right now who will be there for another 6 months. So he's going to be spending a full year on the space station. See, the reason why they do long stays is they need to see. Sorry, one second. Let me close this out. They need to see the impact of space on people.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you.
So that's how they learn.
Have you got the data on how
They're always
the
learning.
muscles are, affected, or the legs, or the
Well,
arms?
okay, a few things happen for sure, right? We know it does affect your muscles. So the guys and the astronauts on board have to exercise so many hours every day, because zero gravity means you're not using your muscles, which means there's no pressure on your bones. So your bones do deteriorate somewhat. Your muscles do atrophy unless you train. So they have maybe an hour or 2 hours of training per day, resistive training machines on board, where they actually do weights like with them, with the bungee cords, resistive training. And they have machines with all these cords in it, and they move the cord around for different types of exercises. Like they can do bench presses, they can do lunges, they can do all of this kind of stuff. They can do deadlift, all from that, right? So it's designed to be changed to do multiple different things. It's the ultimate multi-jig is what they have up there, right? And then they do a lot of science experiments, because obviously the scientists are not up in space, astronauts are up there, so the astronauts do the research for them. With the experiment is delivered there, and then they do the research in that experiment, and then they return the results. Or they send the results. Some are sent back as a finished product. Others, it's just data. Is all they collect, and the data is transmitted as it comes in. So there is landed.
What do you think the research is? Because they've done so many.
okay,
They've
I'll
done
give
so
you an
many.
example.
They've done so many walks. They've done so many things like that.
Well, a lot of the walks are repairs and upgrades to the space station that have to happen.
But do you think they're doing any experiments up there that are
They are.
not in the books?
No, everything's public. It has to be. Now, what the experiment is public. The results may not be public because it may be paid for by a hospital or a research center studying cancers or whatever, right? So I'll give you an example. Every woman over the age of 50, at some point, will deal with osteoporosis, right? We have treatment today for osteoporosis, medication that helps it, right? The reason why we have that is because we have people in space. Because the astronauts, being in zero gravity, have musculature atrophy, and muscle and bone, right, does atrophy over time. So osteoporosis treatment was developed to help astronauts who are in space, and now is used every day. He must have internet connection problems. Is now used every day for people with which are with osteoporosis. Another one is
He flew out again.
I know that's yeah, he'll be back. The other one is an MRI. Without the space program, you wouldn't have an MRI.
You're
MRIs were
really
designed.
laggy.
Sorry?
Liam. You're
I am?
really laggy, yeah.
Oh, no, I tell you what. Maybe, let me
Your
stop
page is
sharing
frozen too. Your video.
now.
No, still frozen.
Really?
Now it's moving. Yeah. No,
Okay.
it's still frozen.
Just a second. So the other thing is,
Let me check on the TV if it's the same.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But
Hold on a
the other thing is MRIs. MRI exists because of the space station, because of space. So we keep moving it so Mac can see if it's moving. So that's it.
Yeah, you're frozen on the TV too. So
Is it back yet?
no.
Okay, let me try one thing. Let me shut down. Let me do this. Okay, let's see if that helps. But the other thing is your cell phone. You without NASA,
Nope.
it's okay. It's all right. But without us going to space, you wouldn't have a cell phone. You wouldn't have GPS. There's a lot of things that we use every day that we take for granted. That we wouldn't have satellite TV. All those exist because of us going to space. Is video back yet, Matt?
Nope.
Still frozen?
Yeah, still frozen.
Because you're
Just
fine.
move, every few seconds you move a little bit, but no.
Oh, I don't know, but
it's very pixelated too.
Oh, it might come back. Give it a moment.
Yeah.
My machine could be doing an update in the background too that I don't know about. But there's a lot of stuff like that exists because of space, because of NASA.
Hey, Chewy. He's watching right now, Chewy.
Hey, Chewy. Well, we'll be ending up here soon anyway, because we've been on 2.5 hours and we've only got a handful of people on here. Unless somebody wants to come in and chat, let me post the link again. If somebody wants to come in and chat, the link is there. But so there's a lot of stuff that we do today that we take for granted that wouldn't exist without space, without us going to space. Am I still jumpy? Video still bad?
Yep.
I don't know why. Because it looks fine on me. I can see the stream fine here. I can see.
I can send you a picture.
No, it's okay. And I can even see your stream fine. So I don't know what it is. Maybe if Chewy jumps on, he'll see if my video is good there.
Yeah, I think he's doing some work right now. So,
yeah, I don't know. So,
couple of weeks ago, I was approached by a person who wanted that I do some lithophanes, and he was based in America, and the shipping cost. He said he's paying for the shipping cost too, and he doesn't care how much. Hey, Chewy.
Hey, what's up, guys?
How's the video? How's my video for you? Is it good? Is it jumpy? Is it what?
It is very, very jumpy. Matt is fine, but it's your video that's processing, which is usually your graphics driver is doing something in the background because it's not transcoding properly.
That's what I'm thinking. It could be an update as well happening in the background.
It could possibly be, but it's something that's interfering with your video transcoding.
Let me close. Or it could be internet connectivity too, but let me close down a few things.
Hey, Matt, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, thank you again.
Hey, not a problem. Thank you.
You keep him busy?
Unfortunately, I wasn't even able to help him. He ended up just refunding the guy the money, and the guy came to me to have it done. He says it's probably going to be easier just to do it that way. So he just ended up refunding the guy's money, and then I took over the order and took care of it. And I just shipped out the guy's stuff, and he got it before the time for the wedding. So it all worked out pretty good. Well, sort of worked out pretty good. I kind of had a really big accident in my lab the other day that has cost me $1,000.
What happened?
I think one of the seals on my bats went bad in a corner, and I wasn't aware that I thought it was the FEP. So I changed it out. I changed out the FEP. Well, I have 3 PO polys, and I got them A, B, and C. Well, it did it to B, and it put enough resin on my screen that it froze it, like fused it right to the screen, and it snapped the screen when it did it. It literally
I've never
snapped it
seen
in
that
half.
happening before.
Yeah, it was a lot of resin. I mean, it was leaking down through the board and everything. It was really.
Oh.
I spent hours cleaning that up. Had to replace the screen and everything, and then I thought I fixed it, and I didn't. And I put it on A. I put that vat on A. Did the same thing to A, and I'm out of screen. So now it's like I literally have to replace. I'm replacing all the gaskets on all my vats. I'm replacing all the screens. I'm replacing the video driver because it leaked down on my C and shorted out my video driver. I have to replace all the gaskets. I have to replace the vat. I got to replace the FEPs. I needed new FEPs, and I needed all new screens. And it was cost me like $1,000 for all that.
Oh, sorry to.
So I'm waiting for PO Poly to ship me a bunch of parts. I'm down to one printer, and I just recently released the Killer Clowns from Outer Space models that was given to me by a really great friend of mine, and he gave me these models, and I have exclusive rights. Nobody else has these models. They do not exist anywhere else. I'm the only ones with them, and I have exclusive rights to print them. And so I put these little models up on my website to sell, and I've been selling them like crazy. And I have a bunch of orders for these, and I can't get them out because I've only got one PO Poly left. And I print a set per PO Poly per plate. I get all 7 of them on the plate, but I can't get the orders out fast enough because I'm only down to one printer, and it takes me like 20 hours to print one set.
Do you want to help me promote that a little bit?
What's that?
The models to your store.
Yeah, sure. I mean, if you
Here, I have a new resin that I'm going to be unboxing this week.
Okay.
This weekend I'm unboxing a new resin printer.
Okay.
And as they come with an STL as part of it, I got a pre-sliced file which I'll use, but I will show yours on the stream and put a link into your store if you want, or if you and then I will at one point I'll print them and show them then on.
I can't do that. I signed paperwork that says nobody else gets these.
Well, I was going to not for me. I was going to do it so that people can link to you and buy them from you.
Oh yeah, but I can't sell the model. I can only sell the prints. I can't sell the files.
Well, yeah,
I can't give out the files.
Okay,
or like that, so,
I was going to offer to say because I could actually if I can show them, I can show them, I can show print. If you want a copy of these, you can go here. Then because I've done that with other people that have just given me their models and said like other people who are
they're not actually my models. They're somebody else's models, and I made them. I've actually he sent me messages of people who who've offered him money and begged him for the STLs for this, and he's like, no, these are made exclusively for him to sell, and that's it, for him to make some money to help him get started, and they're selling too. That's what kills me.
That's what I was going to do.
They're selling. They're really selling.
I
actually had a guy that I told him he contacted me, and he's like, I can't order from your website. I was like, where are you located? He said, France. I'm like, yeah, I only ship in the United States. And he's like, he goes, if you let me ship, if you ship me a set, I'll pay for the shipment. And I'm all right. And it cost me $50 just to ship a set to him. Plus, then he also bought the set too. But yeah, I got to ship a set to France. First time I ever shipped anything overseas at all.
Oh yeah, I've done. It's expensive at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's insane. But it's cost me $50 just to ship it to him. But he's paying it. I mean, because there's never been any toys or nothing for this movie, but it's got a big cult following.
Yeah,
a huge cult following.
These models. This one here, the Luke Skywalker and the Lara Croft that I have behind me.
Yeah.
Those when I printed those when I was doing a machine review, I include links to the creator or whoever's selling it on their store or whatever, Patreon.
Yeah.
And that way, then it drives business their way if people are interested in it. So that's common for people who do reviews like I do.
I have no problems doing it, but I promised him that I would not give that file to anybody else.
No, it's fine. As I said, I'd only use it for the review and the promote. And that's all I'd ever use it for. But if it's up to you. But as I said, I have that new printer this weekend, so I'll be unboxing.
Awesome. What kind of printer is it? What is it? An FDM or is it a?
It is a resin. It's the Uniformation GK1.
I've heard of it. I haven't.
It's a 10.1 inch screen and it's a 5K screen.
Nice. Well, I mean, with the way screens are getting nowadays, if you don't have a 5K screen, I mean, the
Well,
printer's
4K is
outdated. I
common.
mean, come on, I got a PO or not an Elegoo Mars right here that's collecting dust because it's not 5K, it's not monochrome, it's like it's a relic. It's only like a year and a half old, but it's a relic.
Yeah, but it's different though. It's
You can still do
Oh, I
paths
still.
and small items on
Oh
it.
no! The only reason it's collecting dust is because I actually I bought a set of the 4 vats that you can interchange them out, the plastic ones, and I've used them all up, and like I needed new vat. I got new vats over there. I'm actually going to use it as my clear resin printer.
Oh, I do think that to make Elegoo, the plastic ones, they make them now out of metal, I believe.
I think, yeah, I think they are. I think they didn't have very good luck with the plastic ones. So I do have metal ones in a box behind me on that futon right there. They're sitting over there just waiting for me to actually like get off my fat ass and like come over here and actually change things out and and actually get moving and actually do it.
that should be Matt Farmer has one of these printers and he really likes it.
Yeah.
And that
I'm
says a
gonna have
lot.
to check that out because I've seen it, but I haven't seen any reviews on it yet. So yours will be the first review I see on it. So I'd love to check it out.
Sure. Well, I'll be doing this Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern.
I'll probably watch the recap version once when you're done because I don't get up that early in the morning.
Okay, well, I do. And Matt, if you want to check Matt Farmer's one, Matt did one as well a few weeks ago
really?
on the same printer. And he compared it to his WeBox, and he likes his WeBox printer. He really likes his WeBox. It's one of his favorite printers. And he says even the build tray looks like it's a WeBox. So it's a really good WeBox are a really good build.
Okay, I'll check that out.
So it's a nice machine. He likes it.
Yeah,
I kind of wish I threw some money at a Jupiter. I really do. I kind of regret not doing that. I wanted to throw some money and get myself a Jupiter just so I could have a Jupiter and a Phenom right next to it. So, to compare. But it wouldn't really be a fair fight unless I actually paid the $515 to upgrade my Phenoms to a Prime. That's insane. That's insane prices, man.
That's a whole printer.
Expensive.
That's a whole printer.
Huh?
That's a whole printer.
No. Like they actually have an upgrade kit for the Phenom.
I know, but the $500 the $500 is a new printer.
Exactly. I'm glad you're finally making the leap. What the Phenom? I got them literally right like a week after they got released. I bought them, and so my printers are only maybe a year and 3 months old. And so they've already got this whole nother upgrade. Then they come out with an upgrade, and then it's the price of another printer.
Yeah.
And I've got 3 of them, so that's gonna cost me $1,500 just to change them out just to the next step up. And it's like, does it really need to be that? If you can sell a monitor, all right. So an LCD screen is $125, right? For a replacement LCD
for
screen.
For a 4K, yeah.
Well, no, for a standard Phenom is
okay.
I know I just placed this order. I bought 5 of them. One standard screen is $125, and that's after them making their profits and stuff. And the video driver is only $90 because I had to buy one of those. And so with the oops, hold on a second. I just had somebody jump in. Hold on a second. It's going to make some noise. Okay. So, anyways, so you're talking $225, and then they doubled. I mean, that's with them making a profit of the video driver and the screen for a standard Phenom. You can't tell me that warrants a whole double price versus the 5K with the monochrome screen. They're
4K, aren't they? Well, no, the Phenom are 4K, not 5K.
The Prime is a 5.5K. The upgrade is the upgrade that you're putting into the Phenom for the new one is 5.5K upgrade.
So, well, in all fairness, going from a 4 to a 5K, it doesn't make a difference.
It doesn't because 4K is already in what? That's what 1/1000th of a micron.
Yeah, I have a 4K one.
Yeah, I got a 4K. I got a Saturn downstairs. I got an LG
I have a
Saturn.
couple of 4Ks. I have some 2Ks. I have a 2K RGB. I have a 2K mono. I have two 2K monos, and I have 2 4K large screens, and then I have another 4. The new one today, the one I got in delivered yesterday, was a 5K.
Yeah, I wish I
I
could buy
have-
printers like that and review them, but my wife would have divorced me.
I have 2 more printers coming.
Okay.
3 more printers coming.
From whom?
One from what's it called? Prusa.
Oh, well, that's what you want, yeah.
Yeah. And then I have another 4K.
You mean
Anycube
Louise has
coming.
a Prusa coming? Okay.
I have an Anycubic coming, 4K.
Which one?
And
I try to tell him, don't do it. It's a trap.
the Mono X. The Mono X.
Oh, the Mono X. Okay. Yeah, Justin, we did watch the SpaceX live stream. Yeah, we were watching that, and we just turned it off a few minutes ago. But
I
we were
did. I
watching-
missed it. Unfortunately,
Oh,
I
okay.
literally come in. You were watching it, and you were alone when I started watching. And I was like, "What's this?"
SpaceX, their streams are never boring, and they're launching people now, and it's just cargo. And
Did you watch the Netflix special on the Inspiration 4? It was.
No.
I loved it.
I didn't watch
binge
that
watched
yet.
it. I binge watched. I couldn't put it down. Like I was like, "Hey, I got things to do. This looks like something that I can just easily ignore and let it play while I'm working." And like 4 hours later, I'm like,
I tell you
Yeah.
what, I'll watch it when they do one, and I'm a member of the crew. Then I'll watch it afterwards.
"Yeah, we're gonna change it. Inspiration 5, Joel, for Astro Printer."
Yeah.
And possibility, I have 1 or 2 2K resin printers coming.
Okay.
Also,
Yeah, I have. Like, I recently did a 2K mono, which is the 3D Talk printer.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fine little printer. It's small, but it's a small size. But it's kind if you do miniatures and stuff. It's really designed for dental use.
See, I want to get into that. I want to get into the dental part of
Well,
resin 3D printing.
here's the
but-
problem there. You need to scan someone's mouth first of all, and then you need to use the right materials, and then you have to do
Oh,
so
yeah.
much post work.
actually, may I?
Go ahead.
What they do is they take imprints from your teeth and they scan the imprints from
Not
your
an-
teeth.
no, not anymore. No, not anymore.
Over here they do.
Yeah, not well, but everywhere, and like over here in the States, they put a thing in your mouth, and they push a button, and they take it out, and then they go make what you need.
I live around a major city. I live around Columbus, Ohio, and I believe it or not, I actually have dentures in my mouth. And I've gone to every place I can to find. They said the closest dentist near me that has the 3D scanning of the gums is in Cleveland, Ohio.
Why didn't you come across to us? Drive up to Michigan. There's plenty of them up here that do it.
Because you're in Michigan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that'd be an upgrade for you.
Yeah, Michigan
I'm
is
sorry.
like the state what got forgotten by the USA.
You
Well,
know,
that's Columbus.
I'm a fat guy that hates snow, so it's just smart for me to stay out of Michigan. I was actually just in Michigan, Labor Day weekend. I was just in Michigan,
I was whereabouts?
Muskegon.
Muskegon. Okay, you went way up there. Okay.
No, not really way. It's about halfway, but it's on the border. From 1983 until 2005, my family went to the same campground for 2 weeks every summer, the same campground every year for like 20-something years. And then we haven't been there since 2005. So it's been like, 14, 15 years since we've been there. And I took my dad up. We had lost, that was my mom's thing. My mom loved camping, and we lost my mom 4 years ago. And to help give my dad some closure and stuff, we did one last trip to Michigan as like a nostalgia trip. Like, we're to go back and see everything, see how it changed, and kind of say goodbye. It was gonna be like our last family thing that we did together. And so we kind of went up there. I'm streaming. Come here.
Sorry about
You want
that,
to say hi?
everybody.
We hi.
Hi. Look.
Say
Say
hi.
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 You're live.
Say hi.
Say hi.
Hello.
Say hi to the world.
Say hi. And my granddaughter, she's staying with us for a little while. So
You
we're
having
Oh, I
fun?
thought it was your daughter.
no, this is my granddaughter. My booger butt. All right. Good night. Love you. Good night.
Hi.
Give me a kiss. Mwah. I love you. Yeah, she's staying with us for the rest of the year. So
Yeah, Jason's daughter often pops in on the stream as well. He's got a young kid, so she drops in all the time.
Yeah, she's awesome. It's funny because I literally went my whole life like no kids. Like I never had kids of my own. And then I get to 40 years old and I decide to do Carnation Instant Family, just had marriage. And now I skipped the whole kids thing and now I have grandkids, but I love them as they're my own, even though I'd never think of them any other way. They're my grandkids,
Of course.
but yeah. And I love her, and I love her kids, most of them as as my own. So
Cool.
So I take them in, and I'm just dad.
Yeah,
it's funny. I never was dad, but now I'm dad, and it's a whole different lifestyle.
Into that, just add water and stir.
That's what I say. Carnation Instant Family, just had marriage.
Yeah,
Matt's gonna find out.
Yeah, Matt's there.
Yeah, welcome to my world, buddy. It'll never be quiet again. I'll tell you right now, it'll never be quiet again.
Yeah, he's. I'm afraid he comes down half naked, so I better click the button.
Hey, that just helps.
Like
channel,
without
right?
a T-shirt,
Man, that only drives ratings up.
Yeah, tell him to put Astro Printer logo right here on his chest. Just
women maybe.
But so like, but it would help ratings, Every time a tripod says fire those stuff, his ratings go up. So
yeah, he's setting one on fire right now.
But yeah, I wonder how things are going for him in the focus printer.
He just finished his print. I'm watching him on the other channel.
Oh, see, I mean 2 times.
Oh, come on, come on.
You know how those.
I'm paying attention to you.
I know.
You can pay attention to multiple things.
I'm going to give you a hard time because it's funny.
That's okay because you got the coolest people here on your channel, right?
Yeah, we're the coolest.
There we go.
How many views we got?
We have 6 watching right now. We had a lot more, but when Tripod went, it dwindled when Tripod started his channel.
I know they all went over there.
A lot of people did, and then
Jerry went.
I know, and now Tripod's probably getting ready to wind up, but I'm winding up here soon anyway. Because
I would love to do these right here, these kind of StreamYards, and have multiple printers and bring on and do this stuff. But everybody else does them. There's no days of the week available. Everybody's got a day of the week taken up.
Who cares?
I don't know.
Just do them, and people will follow.
Okay.
And people will like it. We had a guy
next week. Tune in next Wednesday to Chewy's channel. I'm just messing with you, bud.
But we had.
I thought about to do one on Monday or Tuesday.
Well, Monday is bad because Monday you're conflicting with Jim and Dan. So Jim does hot mix Monday, and then after that, Dan often does a live hangout.
Yeah, but I thought about 12 o'clock my time.
I
thought about 12 more catering to the European circle.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So you have to do it late afternoon your time.
We're not good enough for him. He wants his own kind.
No. America have already everything.
I stay up late.
I
stay up late. I play Second Life with a lot of Brits, and I stay up late all the time. So don't think that I won't be. You never know. I'm usually up till like 4 in the morning.
Well, 12 o'clock his time, and midnight his time, right? Is afternoon is evening for us. So if he does it at noon his time, it's morning for us.
Oh. Hey, I work from
6
home.
o'clock in the morning.
Right
for you.
You'll just hear me yell at truckers during your channel, but I'll join you.
I work from home. The only thing is I'm often in meetings around the middle of the day. But like if you stream, if I can be on them, I'll jump in. But I work out of home too. I have for 10 years.
I might win a printer.
You might give away a printer. You can ship it to me.
I actually.
Well, I'm aiming to do a giveaway if I can hit 1,000.
If you give away a printer, I'm going to try to win it.
Astro, I sent you the printer, but you have to send the printer off to somebody else. Okay. You can unbox it, etc. Do your live show with it, and then once you finish, you have to ship it over to a friend in the U.S. He lives Nebraska. Nebraska. He lives.
No, I live
I
in
know
Ohio.
exactly what you're referring to, and I would do that.
I live in Ohio, man, not in Nebraska.
No, I know who the destination he wants to send it to.
Because
I would do that.
Yeah, he's not doing so well. So, and some of
he's
his
doing
printers
okay.
are down.
They're busy right now. They have a lot going on. They're actually getting ready. Yeah, my show starts at midnight UK time. Yeah, and I still get some people from the UK who come on. Carl Fenton comes on, Matt comes on, Louise is on here all the time.
Oh,
we
he's
do
doing
have-
the spin right now.
I don't think Matt sleeps.
No, he doesn't.
I sleep
I-
half an hour here, half an hour there, 10 minutes there, and
Yeah, he's one of these sporadic sleepers. I think Matt is part vampire because he's up most of the night.
what the?
But let me see what's going on here. But no, that printer might be good this weekend.
I want your hat.
Whose hat? My SpaceX
Yes,
hat?
I want that hat.
Come here, I'll tell you. No.
I want your hat.
No. Or
No.
they don't make these anymore.
I know, but I'd hate to say it. I would still rather have a SpaceX hat.
You can buy them from the SpaceX store online. You can get them. They sell them.
Now you done spent my money. See how you are. Now,
See,
now I gotta go.
Well-
now that I know how to purchase it, I'm gonna go purchase it.
I got this from a buddy of mine who does launch photography.
Yeah.
He's been on my stream sometimes on the weekends and some of my hangouts. But he does launch photography, so he's actually in Kennedy right now. He took pictures of the launch tonight.
Nice.
So, but he is he gets to some of the launches, so he gets me mission patches
Ooh,
for the missions. And
Chris
the problem
Mink
is
just
they're
won
very
the
limited.
printer.
They're
I
sorry.
think. Chris Mink just won the printer.
Oh,
I think
great!
on,
Chris
I
is
think
one
they're
of our
giving away
regulars.
2 actually.
Cool. Yeah, let me see if I have any mission patches.
I need to hang out on these things more often. And try to win printers. That's how it needs to do.
Yeah, I won last month 3 printers.
Yeah, that's what I was seeing. That I was like, I need to start hanging out on these things more often.
Yeah,
But of
my
course,
mission
then I
patches
wouldn't
are
get
not
any
here.
printing done though.
Yeah, I have some mission patches. I don't have them here. They're
Oh.
upstairs. But
There's
I have
something I would love to show off. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get it. I want to show it off.
I have one thing to ask before you stand
Yeah.
up. Are you wearing pants?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
then you
Luckily
can-
today I am. It's Wednesday, so yeah. So
I had to ask. So Chris, who else won the other one?
Oh no, I think it's filament what they're giving away.
Oh, so Chris won filament. He is a
I
printer.
think so. I'm not sure. I
He's
only
here
have
in
one.
Michigan. He's in Michigan, I believe.
All right.
I believe Chris is in here in Michigan.
honestly, if I won a filament printer from a live stream, I would probably just use it as a giveaway on my own stream because I don't do filament printers.
Is that a Care Bear you're carrying?
Yeah. And
Is
it's
he
a big
resin
one,
print?
too. Yes.
And he's showing the fingers.
I actually sell these on my website right here. These are my fuck you cancer bears, or FU cancer bears. FU to cancer. Because if you're going to say FU to something, why not cancer? Right? My mom was diagnosed
Did you
with,
design those,
breast
or
cancer.
are
No, I bought this off of Cultus. Or Cults, or whatever it is, Cultus. And it's like $1 and they give you the rights to do what you want with the file, and I think that's awesome. But I mean, they have a bunch of different ones, but this one. I got the autism where, good night, baby, love you.
I wonder.
So, but I mean, I made it here. This is as big as a phenomenal print right here.
Did you paint? You painted that, right?
Yeah. I just have. It's a work in progress. I haven't done it. I want perfect circle eyes, and I'm trying to find that one thing around my house that I could just dip in paint and then just kind of hit it. Because if I try to do it with
Why
a
not
hand,
make a stencil and put it over the eye?
That's
yeah,
a good idea.
I could do that. But I mean, something like that. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to hit it. I want it to be perfect because I'm like,
You can go to a craft store. They will have paint stamps of different shapes for kids,
Yeah. I mean, I could just cut
like
one
a Hobby
out.
Lobby or something like that.
See, this is the reason why I need like my own like laser engraver and stuff, or one of those See, baby, this is why I need a Glowforge. I can make stencils for this.
So Louise wants to know what the autism wants to look like.
The The autism one I don't paint because of the sheer fact I actually sell these at craft shows to people who have kids with autism, because a lot
Can you
of times
send me a link
autism
to it?
is
It's on
yeah.
Etsy.
I'm trying to find one. I know I have one somewhere. It's on my shelf somewhere.
No, I would like to print them myself and maybe sell them in the future or give them away to people.
Yeah. Well, I sell them but I actually sell them with brushes and the actual paint as a paint kit for kids.
Oh, so they can actually paint it themselves. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Well, see,
That's
they
a good
use
idea.
painting and coloring in autism, because I know some friends with kids with autism, and they use painting and coloring for the to be able to like help them focus and to keep them calm and help them focus. They use painting and coloring, and that's
the thing
why
is,
I
with
sell 'em.
most people with autism, they have a short attention span.
Yeah.
That's
Well, that's why
sad thing.
painting and coloring works really well.
Can you do me a favor? Can you send me the link to those?
Yeah. I'll
I'd like
drop the
to.
link.
I'd like to subscribe to that.
I need an autism
Me
bear.
too.
I need an autism bear. Someone's asking to see it. There we go. I have. Well, see, I bought all the. They're called No Care Bears on Cultus.
What's on
does
Cult?
it? No Care Bears. And on Cultus, and they have a
We call it
bunch of them. Like
cults.
they got the Shroom Bear.
We know you call it cultus.
Or
Is it
cult-
pronounced cults?
Cults, yeah, Cults. It's a famous site for. Here's
Yeah,
the
Cults
autism
really, yeah.
bear.
I've never heard of it being called cultus before.
I don't know. I also call Gaiazo Gazo, so sometimes I might not be
Oh,
right.
the puzzle one.
So it's got the
I was
autism
thinking-
puzzle.
Yeah, it's not very popular over here. It's
I was
puzzle one.
I was thinking they'd be good. They'd be nice to print a batch of them and go down to the cancer wards in one of the hospitals and give them to them, so the staff can give them to people who are either going through it or getting over it.
Here's another one that they sell.
Yeah.
There's that one. I painted that one. And then here's another one. I have the whole collection. They're already printed. They're in the other room. Here's the Twerk Bear. They got the Shroom Bear, the Hulk Bear. They got all the horror collection bears, and they sell them as sets. Let me let's see here. I have the whole collection printed in there. Like, we sell them at the craft show. People love them.
That's what happened to Chewie? Chewie hit the wrong button. Yeah.
Yeah, the puzzle pieces are pretty controversial over here.
Hey.
Oh.
Because the thing is,
pretty,
the
yeah.
puzzle thing is, you treat autism like you treat a dog. You train a dog. And over here, it is kind of controversial, this type of technique here in Europe, what they use in America.
They don't do that here.
Yeah?
No.
Babe, tell them. Because my fiancée, she has autism, and she knows all about it, and she showed me.
I don't think they do that. No, I've never seen that here.
Oh, wow. They got the Squid Games bears now. Yep. Let me find the autism one. I'm trying to find it. It's probably gonna be easier for me to go to his channel, and then you could just show you his channel, because they got tons of these bears, and they're so easy to print.
Excuse me for a second.
On a
But the price is for all of the models in one price, $2.
you can contact them, and they'll just do a whole box collection for you. That's what I did, because I just bought them all like that. But but like one collection will have like 3 bears, and it's like $1.23.
Yeah,
You know?
they're really. It's not expensive at all.
Yeah, so
I don't know anybody who does that here. I look into these because I was thinking of them as giveaways.
here, if you want, I'm gonna put it in the private chat because I can't.
Yeah, I have it. No, I have the cult site, I think.
Well, that's the guy. That's the best one. That's the best link to give, because that has all the bears. So if you want to post that up in your thing, that's the link that has that's the creator's box where he's got all the bears listed and you can buy them. But
I'll
a set
post
of
it for
three is
everybody. All right, let me post it for everybody. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
There you go, guys. There's the link.
And then here's my only one that didn't turn out good. It's my booze
Drink
bear.
bear.
It's
Booze
the booze
bear.
bear. Yeah, but he had an accident.
Oh, walls are a
You
little
hollow
bit thin,
them?
maybe.
I
Oh
would
yeah,
make them solid.
no.
You need
Why
to
would you
no,
do
no,
that?
no,
Hollow.
no. You can. Well,
And
it
it's
depends.
beautiful because you can put your you can literally put your drain holes right there in their bottom of their feet, and you print them like this. But when you you just turn your plate over, and all the drain holes, because they'll be in an angle, will just drain all the bears all at once down in. And then
How many
you just
drain
take
holes you put in that
Two.
one?
two,
Two, just on the bottom.
one
All
for
right.
the drain and one for the breathe. And then when you tilt it like this on the plate, it all leaks right out because this one's the breather and this one's the drain
Drainage.
hole, and they'll all drain like that.
Cool.
So, but let me see, his twerk bear.
I'll
The Mandalorian bear.
Well, I'm thinking again, like I do a lot for charities and stuff,
Yeah.
and I was thinking if I make them and bring them to the cancer wards and so on,
Yeah.
and give them to the staff and say, tell them what they are and say, here, these would be nice to give these to the patients. If you get new patients, and give them a little Care Bear.
Yeah. Here's a Leatherface Care Bear. So I literally have like the whole collection. Here's the Shroom Bear right there. Here's
So it's Designs 116. I might message him.
Yeah. And then here's that's the Jason Bear.
Yeah. Yeah, the only ones I'd be interested in would be the
Freddy Bear.
I might be interested in the autism ones, maybe, but I'd be interested in the cancer ones and stuff like that because they're things I can give to a hospital for free and say, give these out to your patients. I think the patients will find it funny.
I would watch. Yeah, I don't see why it would. I mean, you always have butthurt parents, right? So
No, but I would give
cancer
it to,
one, with the double middle fingers to giving it to kids to paint.
not for
even
kids,
though-
not for kids. I would say the adults they're for adults.
Oh, okay. Here's my sloth bear from Goonies.
Yeah, like if I could make one of those
Baby,
if you could make one of those with a curing loop on top.
Let me tell you what, brother. Here's my Hulk bear.
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
How thick are your walls?
But if you do
3
one of those,
I set them to 3.
but if you do those as solid, you
Thug-like.
could use them as keyrings. And as keyrings, they'd be great giveaways. They'd be great to give out to.
You still have to put the key.
That's
hole
easy
in.
to add. That's easy to add.
There's the alien bear. So it's got the little alien popping out.
Yeah, but they're easy to add. Those loops on top.
I love this one.
Miss
Yes.
Piggy.
It's the Karen bear.
Karen Bear.
Yeah, and if you look, it says, let me speak to your manager on his belly. And then she's got a cell phone up, and she's got that short haircut, that Karen haircut. It's the Karen bear. My wife likes to paint these.
I'm interested in the cancer one.
Yeah, but you'll find that on there. There's the
Yeah,
one,
I see it.
Pennywise.
Now they're doing the printer
Ooh.
on a show.
The Pennywise.
Oh yeah. The cancer one is free.
Yeah, the cancer one's free. Here's Saul.
I'm going to message him and ask permission because I was thinking for cancer patients, so someone who's diagnosed or someone who's going through treatment, would be a giggle and a half to give that to someone who's going through cancer treatment.
That's true. You're right.
And that's what I was thinking. If I can print up a batch of those, like stick them on a like if they're small, and if I put a loop on top to make it like a keyring.
I don't need a Pennywise.
Oh, you get. Well, those are what the size they come in. Like right here's my Rick Bear from Rick and
That's
Morty.
what I mean. All I have to do is add the loop on top to make it.
Yeah, I mean you could do that, but I mean they're about 3 inches tall. That's not really a good key ring. You're gonna
I'd
want
make
to
it a
go
little
half
bit smaller.
that.
Maybe a
I
little
would go-
smaller.
I go about 60% of what this is. That would be a good one, but it'll be too tiny for them to really paint.
Maybe. Well, I don't think about painting though. I think I'd prime it, and I think that people will just get a giggle out of it,
Yeah,
right?
they're really not that
Um,
hard to paint. I mean, seriously, they're like the cancer ones are really not that hard to paint. I mean, I airbrushed that and within an hour and a half already. Just
Yeah,
with
but
that. I
the
mean, I got
airbrushing,
little touch up, but
yeah, but the airbrushing is not the issue. Like, the only thing you have to do is paint the whole thing, make them blue or pink,
yeah.
right?
Or just tint your resin, get white resin, and get the
No, never hand somebody on primed resin. It's a mistake. People can have bad reactions to even to cured resin. So I'd always prime it, and then give it to them primed if they want it, or prime it and use a pink primer if I can get it, or a base primer, and I give it all like pink or blue. And the only thing I have to do then is actually paint around the white and the belly, and that's it.
yeah.
Because
Well, maybe I
I'd
can
never
do that.
give an unprimed product to anybody.
I don't know. I mean, my curing cabinet's so damn powerful that when I open it up, I catch cancer.
Well,
Like
I
it puts off heat. My curing cabinet puts off some serious heat. I've got
yeah, but it's not about curing it. It's people have various reactions
Yeah.
to resins. So I would always prime it at minimum. But if I prime them,
What I do is I cure them, then I wash them, cure them again, and wash them again.
you don't need to do that.
no, there's no reason.
No,
for
because
that.
there's nothing to wash off after it's been the curing station. There's nothing
yeah,
to wash off.
there's nothing to wash off.
All right.
So
That's a precaution. I do think it becomes cleaner and smoother, and that's
Yeah,
sticky.
well, no. Well, see what you do. Here's the secret. If you wash it after coming out, you wash it. You take off all the supports, right? And what you do is get a toothbrush and IPA alcohol, and scrub it with a toothbrush, and then wash it again before, and let it dry 100% before curing. The reason why is if resin's in some of the cracks and the nooks and crannies, it doesn't come out easily when you wash it. If you use a toothbrush on it, it'll get into those areas and lift it all out. And then wash it again, then leave it out for an hour or two to fully 100% dry. And if you have drain holes, get a UV LED and stick UV LED inside the drain hole to cure the inside.
Yeah.
Right? And
I
then cure the outside.
put my resin on the fan. You see the fan right there?
Yeah.
I put it right next to the printer and let it put the fan on, and it dries quicker.
Well, but you have to dry the inside as well. You need to have compressed air.
Yeah,
to dry the
yeah.
inside.
I keep turning around and laying it on the side.
Compressed air. You need compressed air to blow out the inside to dry it.
No, because most of mine are solid.
Okay, mine are not. So what I do is you get the big syringes they use in the baking stores, right? And what you do is you fill that with IPA and you inject it inside it, and it actually washes out and washes it out.
My wife is wanting me to show off her. Wants me to show off her controller holder. She's painting it. It's a work in progress.
Yes.
So she's
Let
still
me bring
working
it up.
on
And she should come on and introduce it herself. Tell her to get on here and introduce
Oh,
herself.
she won't get on here.
Marcus
trust me.
from Gears of War.
Yeah. So
That
here's
looks really good.
the base right there, and then this is from Gears of War. She's still painting. She's still working on the pieces, but
That looks good.
It's from Gears of War. And it's a controller holder is what it's for. It's made to take your controllers, Xbox, PlayStation. It also holds your cell phone. It'll hold some smaller tablets. But it
No,
holds-
my extent of
controller
painting means if it doesn't come out of a rattle can in one coat, it's not done. It's not good, and I won't do any more than that.
Here's my Kratos. I
Nice.
did that one. And then here's another one. I've got a whole collection. I got like 15 of them over there. But here's
Groot.
a couple for you. Here's my little baby Groot that holds my controller holder. And I haven't listed these on the. I have got so much to do. I got so much work to do.
That's good.
Yeah. No, I got so much. I got so much stuff to list on
You
the
even got a
website.
wheat bear, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna reach out to the guy to get his okay to do this, because I think if I do a batch of them and I give them to the hospital, So they can actually have the nurses and so on will have a giggle out of it first of all, and then anybody who's going through the treatment will find it funny, or maybe somebody wants to give one to their friend who's going through it. That'll find that to cheer them up a little bit, you know.
That's
Um,
awesome. Yeah, definitely
so,
go for it.
well, I do a lot of that kind of stuff, you know. Like
Well, I mean, the cancer one's already free, and he doesn't care what you do with it. I mean,
Well,
I'll
I
tell you right now,
still-
that's exactly what he's going to tell you because
I
he's
still
from
will
like
always ask. I will
Ecuador, I
never
think.
assume.
Yeah, he's from Ecuador. I talked to him before. He's a pretty
Yeah.
cool guy.
Well, I will never assume, but I will
Yeah.
I will offer it.
Oh
to
yeah,
see
I
if it-
always
if it is the
contact
case. Yeah.
anything that I want to sell. I actually get some kind of chat with them where they give me permission, and then I save that. I save that as here's my legal proof that I have the right to sell these.
Did you see the toys I've done? I need a new project because my Toys for Tots is over.
No, I did
So-
not see that.
Okay, so my Toys for Tots, this is what I printed.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Now here's the question: they
Each
actually
of those are individual toys.
okay, all those toys, but here's the question that I have is for the Toys for Tots, those are cool. They weren't sealed.
No,
And did you have a problem with them accepting it?
nope, they want them that way, and there's because there's a few reasons. First of all, they do a quality check on everything, which is good. Secondly, the chances of catching something from tactile touch has been proven to be extremely low, so it's fine. And they will not, and they'll be in store. They'll be stored for a couple of weeks before they go anywhere anyway, and it doesn't survive on anything that's stored. Right? It doesn't survive on anything like that, and it's not living tissue, so there's no issues there. And I have gone through 3 sets of vaccinations.
Okay.
I've got my. I actually just over a week ago, I got another booster for COVID.
So
I am.
no, I
up
mean
to
that's
date.
the only reason why I was asking is because like, I was going to donate last year during last Christmas season. I was in a place called Traders World. It's north of Cincinnati. It's a big, huge flea market, and I was selling lithophanes and 3D prints out of my booth for the Christmas season. And I rented the whole season in this flea market. We went down every single weekend, and there was a booth right next to me that they could never find time to come to their booth because he worked so much and it was just too much of a hassle. So I told him, I'm like, look, I'll buy your whole entire booth off of you. And I did. And I got a really great price for it because they have a bunch of those little like wooden plaques that have like sayings on them, little decorative plaques, little for decor.
Yeah.
And I still have them. They're listed. I sell them online, and I probably bought close to 4,000 of them. Like she had boxes upon boxes. And the other thing she had in her shop was like just cheapy toys and like old McDonald's toys from Happy Meals and stuff like that. And I mean, but she just had like this big, massive collection of toys. They got it off of a woman who was in a nursing home. They bought it off of her. It was her old shop, and they were trying to resell it, but they just didn't have time for it. So I bought it, and so I had 6 huge, gigantic boxes of toys. Some were sealed, some were not. There was a lot of yo-yos and things like that, and
Yeah.
I tried to donate it to them. They wouldn't accept it because they said it
Well,
was.
that was in the height of it. Now people are vaccinated now,
Yeah.
and it's different, right? And you do want to be careful giving something to someone who's immune compromised. So the fact that you've gone through the vaccinations helps, but you always have to be careful. And obviously, if they're stored for a week or two before they go near a person, then they're safe. And worst case scenario, you spray everything down with alcohol, and you leave it like IPA or whatever that, and you leave it sit, and then you bag them separately, and that's
Well,
not hard to do.
What I did is I found churches that did their own thing, where they
Well,
would go out and help,
for
kids that
COVID,
needed.
I did a lot of
And they
face
took it all.
shields. Yeah, but for COVID, I did a lot of face shields, and I printed everything out of PETG so it could actually go through the autoclave to be sanitized by the hospital. everything was made that way. Right? I on purpose I made it out of PETG because
Yeah.
PETG can survive an autoclave because it's hot. There's and the hospitals took all of those and they were happy for them and they were overjoyed to see them. Right? I think I did about 10,000 face shields.
Wow.
Well, I had printers going 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, nonstop making.
My brother who got me into 3D printing, he had his own business doing the World War II tanks, and when COVID came out, he was for nurses. He was making those
Ear
strips
protectors?
that had the little strips, so this way you didn't have to hook it on your ears.
Yeah,
you
I
hook it
did
on
both.
This thing.
Yeah, I did
And he did that. He did
Yeah.
that for all the hospitals in the area.
I did they're called ear savers because they
Yeah.
stop the strap sticking to your ears. So I did ear savers and face shields. I did both.
I didn't get into any of the COVID printing at all, so I mean,
I know I did in a big way. I mean, I
wish I
up.
would have, but with me doing resin and it sitting on someone's head, I
Well,
just
you
didn't
can't
like
with
the
resin
idea.
because it can't be touching skin. But
Yeah.
what I was doing was FDM and it was PETG, and I'd build up a big batch of them, and I just get in the car. I'd sanitize them because I wore gloves and I wore my own face shield that I made for myself. And I went out and I cleaned stuff and I sanitized everything, and it was all prepped and bagged clean after being cleaned down with alcohol and everything like that. Everything was done, and then I dropped them off at the hospitals, and they obviously then put it through the autoclave to clean them again. And I marked everything what it was made out of, so they knew that it could actually be cleaned or not. Because PLA they can't clean it. It's a one-time use and you dump it. Whereas the PETG they were using over and over and over again. I have neighbors who are nurses, and
Yeah.
they brought batch them into their hospitals with them, and they still have them today.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that it's good that we have people out there that are willing to step up and do things like that. I kind of was nervous about doing anything with resin.
Well,
For
resin
anything
you
medical.
can.
Yeah.
Even Toys for
So,
Tots you can't do resin because there
So-
are issues about dealing with with resin even after it's cured.
yeah.
But that's why FDM is better for this, and like a PTG, PLA, PLA Plus, they
Yeah.
all work for these toys. And
So-
like I do them with really thick walls. I do 4 walls when I'm doing FDM prints, so they're strong. You do at least 4 walls on it, so it actually makes it a really rigid body. You know.
I'll tell you a really interesting story. When I was there at Traders World, we had this guy that was right in the booth right next to us. He was making, those necklaces for glasses, so this way you can hang them around your neck. Well, he was doing the same thing, but he was putting hooks on the end of them, and he was making it for the masks. And him and his wife actually ended up quitting their job and making their own little production line with their teenage kids at the house, and they would make these all day long. That's what they were doing. They were making these all day long, and he was selling $5,000 worth on Amazon a week.
Everything I did,
And it's like-
I was free. I
Yeah,
donated.
yeah. But it's amazing how even in a pandemic, people can still strive and do things on a grand scale that they would have never done before.
Yeah. So I did an awful lot, and then I came along, and then Toys for Tots came, so I've jumped on that. I'm hoping Toys for Tots will start early next year, maybe January or February. I'm hoping so I can start getting going on that and start printing a lot more on that for next year.
Yeah.
But these little cancer bears, I think, would be a nice thing to give to hospitals that they can give out to patients. And if I can I can bring that into Tinkercad and I can put the loop on it or whatever, right? It's easy to put a donut on top of the head.
I mean, you can always make them, and I mean, the loop can just be a Christmas ornament that they can paint. It goes on the Christmas.
Well, whatever they want, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I can just put the loop into the design and print
Yeah.
it that way.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it wouldn't be that hard.
No, it's simple enough. Like as I said, in Tinkercad, you just get a donut and bring the donut up, shrink it to the size you want, and put it up, and attach it to the top, and you're done.
I've been screwing up. The software I've been screwing up with is Mesh Mixer.
I've used Mesh Mixer, but depends on what you want to do, right?
It's the software that I'm choosing to start my mission with modeling, and I know I'll never achieve it because I have like I try to draw a stick figure and he comes out circle. I don't know how. I have like no artistic talent. I can barely paint. I want to. I try. Like I just don't have that whatever it is in the brain that
Yeah, I do not have a creative side like that.
I wish
But,
I did, man. I try so much different stuff and I struggle so much. But I want to. Like it sucks. I want to.
No, I'm
Need
not
to live up to
creative
my
like
name.
that. I'm not creative like that. I'm mechanically creative to come up with mechanical solutions. I'm very good that way.
No, see, I'm
And-
technology. I'm
yeah.
all software and all that.
I'm a
side.
tech guy as well. I'm
Yeah.
IT infrastructure and networking.
I'm hardware and
stuff.
software tech is what I am. So
Yeah.
if you want your refrigerator to talk to your toaster, call me. But if you want a Picasso redone, yeah, you're screwed.
Hell, I'll go as far as I wouldn't say a Picasso, but I'll go as far as I could paint the wall of your house or your door, and that's where I'll stop. Because beyond that, my artistic abilities are severely diminished.
It was so funny because I had an airbrusher that was going to work with me and paint my models for me for a cheap price and a bulk price and do stuff. And he ended up flaking on me and it sucked. So I was thinking, well, maybe I can learn to airbrush. Maybe I can. I took on one job. It was a snailian. It's on my website. It's called a snailian. It's a snail with an alien head. And he's like, I want you to paint it for me. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll paint it. That's the one and only time I'm ever painting for anybody ever again. It took me 3 months because no matter what, it was never good enough in my head. Like that just looks like garbage. That just looks like I don't want to give him that. And he finally was bugging me. He's like, dude, where's my? I was like, he's like, I paid you. I'm like, yeah, I know. I was like, I told you I don't really want to paint things, and I'm like, He's like, just send me what you got. I'm like, let me try one more thing, and I got it to the point where I was okay at going out. And I said, I'll never do it again. I will never paint for another customer. I will paint my own stuff because, a lot of times my painting comes when I'm like angry at my job or something and I'm frustrated. I could just escape the world, go down in my little lab. It's all quiet and I could just paint and watch TV and just relax and calm down. And I can just get that stress out of me. But I won't do it for anybody else. Like my stuff is, I won't paint for anybody because I'm just not good enough at all.
I'm the same.
So
Yeah, me
I look at that cancer bear that I done, and I can point out 100 different errors on it that I am not happy with.
That's why I don't paint.
Yeah.
You know what? It's 3.5 hours. I think we're going to wrap up.
All right, guys.
Well, thanks
All
for
right.
jumping on, Chewy. It was
Hey,
always a
thanks for
pleasure to
having
have
me,
you
man.
and Matt.
Yeah, anytime.
Thanks for hanging out with us. And for those of you who are out there who are not in chat, please thank you for joining us. Please like, subscribe, and ding that bell if you haven't done so already. We got us all in SpaceX Launch a rocket tonight. We hung out. We talked about 3D printing. We talked about a few other things, Toys for Tots and other programs, and it was fun. And it's always a pleasure for everybody to come in. We're always open to let people come in. We had a new person we've never seen before, just saw us live and said, "Oh, that looks interesting." Click and came in to chat with us.
Oh, nice.
So that was also nice. So it's good to get new blood in here, and they have new people come in and say hi because he's from Glasgow.
Okay.
So if anybody, again, share it out with your friends and family. If I
With
reach
a heavy
1,000
accent.
subscribers- well, I understand Glaswegian accent, so I'm okay with that. But when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I plan to do a giveaway. So please like, subscribe, share, get people in, and let's see if we can do some giveaways and we can have some fun. I always like to give back to the community through helping, but it's nice to be able to give back by giving somebody a printer or some spools of filament or some bottles of resin or something, Yeah, he went with the name That Guy. He never really gave his name, but he was interesting and he got into good conversation. There was nothing malicious about his conversation. He was a nice guy, and he's welcome to come back whenever he wants because we had a good conversation chat with him,
I think he was once time before on here, but
I don't remember him. He's never been on stream before. I'm sure of that. He might have been. He said he was never on chat either. He said he just saw us being live and said, "Oh, let's join. Let's go to that channel."
That's what it's for.
So, apparently we're up in the trending list. So
There you go.
which is good.
Going
So-
viral.
Yeah, I wish. So share, like, subscribe, get all of our friends and family to join because there's a giveaway coming if I can reach 1,000 subscribers. And with that, I will wish you all a good evening or good night or good morning in Matt's case. And remember, guys, we're makers, so don't buy it, make it. And I will see you Saturday morning, 11 a.m. EST for the live unboxing of a new resin printer. And I'll be back on next Wednesday for another hangout. So remember, hold that spot, and I'll see you again next week if I don't see you Saturday. Thank you, guys, and have a good night.
Good night.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.